as we approach the Thanksgiving holiday. And, of course, we want to wish all of you out there listening tonight a happy Thanksgiving. And, of course, this is just the start of some great things as we move further into the fall with round one of the state playoffs upon us next Friday night. Where we'll be is still a mystery, but we've got several teams in Cherokee County that will be there in round number one, and one of those teams is playing here tonight as part of our Cherokee County game of the week. They are the Cherokee Warriors, and they are hosting the Milton Eagles tonight in what is really the de facto Region 5 7A championship game here tonight at Tommy Baker Field. 33rd meeting all time between these two schools, but none of those before meetings seem to be as much as this one as far as the spotlight goes. Lots of eyes, lots of attention, lots of media here tonight, and it should be a lot of fun. Our crew is at full strength, and we are here tonight under the lights and looking forward to a great night. We're going to take a 2-minute break. When we return, Vaughn, Touchdown Brown, and our very own Golden Boy Will Cooper will have the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Cherokee pregame show, 2 minutes, and then back with more. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week, our live coverage right here on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
Welcome to Perk Up. What can I get you?
Can I have a large, skinny, non-fat macchiato with
My 15-year-old has the taste buds of a middle-aged woman, but she's no adult. That's why we took her to Children's for her scoliosis. Their pediatric orthopedic program is nationally ranked. Their specialists understand growing bones and how to treat them. My kid ordering an adult-style coffee? Okay. Going to an adult doctor? Not so much.
Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Orthopedics. Where you take them matters. Learn more at choa.org/ortho.
Game on! Football's back, and we're celebrating at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County. Get game-winning offers right now. Drive the best-selling 2020 Nissan Rogue, or check out the redesigned 2020 Sentra. If you try it, you'll buy it. They're that good, fun, and affordable. Catch the savings now before they're gone. Only at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County, across from the Holly Springs Walmart. Online at NissanNorthAtlanta.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.
Hi, I'm Dave Garner.
And I'm Janet Mueller.
And we're your local Woodman Life representatives.
You know, Dave, it must be tough announcing games and still providing financial security through life insurance, retirement, and member benefits.
Well, Janet, it's an honor, but it means that I have a great partner when it comes to protecting families from financial hardship.
So come see us.
Or call us at 706-273-9347.
Or 770-894-7898.
And find out how Woodman Life can help you leave memories, not expenses. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
As an athlete, you put it all on the line each and every day. Training, skill, and dedication. It's with these same characteristics that Pinnacle Orthopedics puts it all on the line for you, ensuring that you continue to play the game you love. With 5 locations and 16 physicians and surgeons, Pinnacle Orthopedics is the team physician for Kennesaw State University, as well as for many other schools and teams. Using only the latest technologies, Pinnacle Orthopedics is dedicated to keeping you at the top of your game.
Welcome back to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Cherokee pregame show. The Cherokee Band of Warriors, the marching band, is taking the field behind us here at Tommy Baker Field as we are set for a matchup between the Cherokee Warriors and the Milton Eagles. Welcome into the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Cherokee pregame show. I am your host, Will Cooper, joined alongside my good friend, Touchdown Vaughn Brown. Vaughn, thanks for being back with us, partner.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Obviously, it's playoff time in Cherokee County and the state of Georgia. And luckily for us, we have a chance for 5 of our 6 teams to get into the playoffs. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump into what we got. Let's start off with the games that we played tonight. There are a few games Saturday. We'll get into those later. But the big game for us is Johns Creek and Creekview. Johns Creek coming in 4-3. They are 4 wins against Sequoia, Riverwood, Chattahoochee, and Centennial, and 3 wins against Westlake, Milton, and Cambridge. Creekview 6-2, wins against Etowah, Woodstock, Cambridge, Sequoia, Riverwood, and Chattahoochee. 2 losses to both Cherokee and River Ridge. Creekview is a 9-point favorite according to my rankings in CalPreps. Our good friend Arthur Mosley, the editor-in-chief of the Turd Ferguson Report, has him at an 11-point clip. Patrick O'Shea with the Cherokee Tribune has him at a 6-point clip, and the Max ratings have it a 14-point clip. Johns Creek all-time leads the series 2-0. Neither team played last week due to some COVID compilations, and we'll get into what the winner and the loser will get into as we get deeper into the playoff conversation. But, Vaughn, what are you looking for in this game?
I mean, if you look at it, Creekview, I mean, you know, they score 20 a game. They give up 9.6 per game, and they've gotten a little bit hot on offense at the right time. So I got a stat for you. The first 4 games of the year, they scored 19 points or less every game. They scored 14.5 points a game, and we saw them a couple times, and we're like, just not – they're not where they need to be offensively, but they were in a great place defensively. The last 4 games, however, 20-plus points every game. They're averaging 24.5. So when all of a sudden when you have that offense, putting up points, and then the defense, which we've seen all year, has not wavered, what happens, though, is sometimes when your offense starts scoring, your defense lets up. So they are giving up a little bit more over the last 4 games, but you got Andrew Cloy back. He's a big playmaker. He gives Brody Rhodes that confidence he needs, and they're playing a Johns Creek team that we're still not sure. I mean, they're 4-3, 4-1 in region. They just haven't won games that they need to win to put themselves in position. They give up 20, they score 20, which is not a great formula anytime you're giving up the same amount as you're scoring. But they've got a ton of studs on defense. So I think if Creekview takes care of the ball, doesn't give Johns Creek a short field, leans on that defense, they're going to be in great shape tonight. And as you said, this game is for a playoff spot. They're both in. It's for that 2 spot. And Creekview wins. They're the 2. They lose. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so the winner of this game will be the 2nd seed, although there is a little bit of nuance to that. Yep. We'll get into that a little bit later as we get into the Saturday games. But for all intents and purposes, the winner is the 2nd seed and will face the winner of the Pope and Sprayberry game that will be played tonight. The loser of that would face the region 1st seed, which looks like it'll be River Ridge, but as we mentioned, there's always complications, especially in a COVID year. The 3rd seed will have to go on the road, and they will face Kell, and in that crossover region with Region 6 in 6A. So something to keep an eye on there. Obviously, the big news is being the 2nd seed, you get to play a home playoff game. Moving down the list, we've got another one for you. Alpharetta and Etowah. Etowah is the only team in our broadcast area that has been eliminated from playoff contention, but they can make some waves depending on what they do. Alpharetta comes in 4-4, 4 wins against Chattahoochee, Harrison, Woodstock, and Roswell, and 4 losses to North Cobb, Collins Hill, Milton, and Cherokee. Etowah 0-9, losses to Creekview, River Ridge, North Forsyth, North Cobb, Roswell, Milton, Cherokee, Woodstock, and Forsyth Central. They made that game up last week that was originally canceled on September the 11th. Alpharetta is a 31-point favorite according to our rankings, a 28-point favorite according to the Maxwell rankings. 25 to Cal Preps, 21 according to Arthur Mosley, and 17 to Patrick O'Shea with the Cherokee Tribune. The first meeting for these 2 teams, and Alpharetta is a lock at the 3rd seed unless they lost this game and Roswell was able to beat Woodstock. Then Roswell would move up to the 3rd seed over there, and Alpharetta would fall to the 4th seed. But with all that said, it should be, for Etowah, they're trying to just put some finishing touches, getting ready for the offseason. And Alpharetta really just needs to take care of business and handle what they think they can.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of the Alpharetta coaches last night, and, we talked about Etowah, and Cherokee needs them to win this game. Woodstock needs them to win this game if they can take care of their business. But, they weren't sold on going over to Etowah and getting an easy victory. They've watched them on tape, and they think they're a dangerous team. At the end of the day, what I said was against an Alpharetta defense is very creative. You can't be one-dimensional, and that's what Etowah is. They don't throw the ball well. They're a one-dimensional run team, and you can't do that against a John Thompson defense. But, Alpharetta, they're 4-4 overall. They're not satisfied with that. Even with that non-region schedule they played, North Cobb and Collins Hill played them both very close. They played Milton very close for a half. They're not satisfied with that, but what they're taking out of this game is like you said, the 3 seed potentially and a winning record. And in the first year of that staff being at Alpharetta, and that's a big deal because they jumped up from 6A to 7A. Never easy. They feel like if they were in 6A again, hell, they could be undefeated. But again, they are looking at winning tonight, having a winning record, and going and playing North Gwinnett potentially rather than Collins Hill, and that their eyes are bright. I think that defense is going to probably maybe score tonight. I just don't see Etowah being able to put up enough points to match them.
I agree with you there. Moving down to the list, as we mentioned, that Roswell-Woodstock game has a lot of contention going into it. We'll get into the details of that. But first, let's give you the overview of the teams. Woodstock comes in 3-6. We've seen them back-to-back weeks. Their 3 wins against Sequoia, Campbell, and Etowah. Their 6 losses against River Ridge, Creekview, Calhoun, Cherokee, Alpharetta, and Milton. Roswell comes into this one 6-2. Wins against Centennial, North Paulding, Campbell, Walton, Etowah, and Cherokee. Their 2 losses are in back-to-back weeks to Milton and Alpharetta, so searching to end that 2-game skid. Roswell, a 19-point favorite according to my rankings and the Maxwell ratings, a 20-point favorite according to Cal Preps, 13-point favorite according to Arthur Mosley, and only a field goal favorite according to Patrick O'Shea. Roswell leads the all-time series 11-3. The winner of this game is the 4th seed. Unless Roswell was to win and Alpharetta lost, then Roswell would jump up to the 3rd seed. But the 4th seed, whoever that is, will face Collins Hill and have to go on the road and face them. A tough customer over there, but you're playing for your playoff life. so nothing to take away from this. But the contention in this one is that the Roswell quarterback happens to be a familiar name around Woodstock, as that's Robbie Roper, who was playing backup last year and transferred over to Roswell and has a good bit of success over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's motivation for him. There's motivation for Woodstock. They didn't ask him to leave. I mean, I think, he would have been the guy this year, but he didn't like the way his first 2 years played out, and, he chose to move on. Roswell's 6-0 to start the season, and most publications had them ranked in the top 10. I don't think any of us were necessarily sold on them, but yes, they did at that point handle Cherokee as they had to do and get that 7-point win and move out of there, and they stayed ranked. They've dropped their last two, though, and, they're on a little skid, and not to say Woodstock's on this bender and doing great things, but, Roswell's kind of got some questions right now, and Alpharetta went in there last week and just they had them down 34-14 before a late score, and then, from a Woodstock perspective, we watched them last week. We watched them the last 2 weeks. They have trouble sustaining drives, but they can put points up. I mean, you got Dan Como that's getting more and more comfortable. He will not get hit as much this week as he did last week. And we interviewed Brent Buddy during the football podcast this week. And it's like, look, if that was on a natural turf field, Dan Como would have had stains all over his uniform because he was continually picking himself up off the turf, off the turf. But, he's gotten more and more comfortable. He's got a ton of yards. I picked Woodstock because I think something special is going to happen over there, and we get 5 teams into the playoffs.
I'm hoping you're right. There's a lot going into this one. Turning the card, that's a win-or-go-home type of game, so whoever wins is in. If you don't, time to go back home. And we move over into the Saturday games and the Saturday specials. We've got 2 of them here for you. The first one is Cambridge and River Ridge, a game that really didn't have a lot of interest for most people, but now there's really 3 teams that are watching this game. Cambridge comes into this one 5-4. Their 5 wins against North Oconee, Centennial, Johns Creek, Riverwood, and Chattahoochee. 4 losses to Forsyth Central, Creekview, Langston Hughes, and Sequoia. River Ridge comes in 8-0 is what we will have them marked as. Their 8 wins against Lassiter, Woodstock, Etowah, Chattahoochee, Riverwood, Creekview, Centennial, and Sequoia. River Ridge is a 10-point favorite according to me and Arthur Mosley, an 11-point favorite according to Cal Preps, a 12-point favorite according to the Maxwell ratings, and a 17-point favorite according to Patrick O'Shea. First meeting for these 2 teams. So there's a lot of playoff implications with this one, but what do you think about this game going into it to begin with?
I mean, at the end of the day, we interviewed Coach Collins this week, and, we didn't ask a lot about, the last week because now we're hearing, is it a forfeit? Is it not? I mean, all they can do is go take care of business tonight, which they should. I mean, Cambridge, we did, and Coach Collins already knew it prior to interviewing him this week. Cambridge started out really, really bad. The first 6 games being outscored 25-23 in every contest, and I think at even one point we said, look, Centennial, Cambridge, they're out of the playoff picture. All of a sudden, Cambridge goes on a run. Their last 3 games against 3 good opponents, they're outscoring them 28-16. And that Sequoia game, they had it. They had 41 points on the board and could not hold Sequoia that last drive. It's a dangerous team, and Coach Collins, now he's very good at coach speak. He does, I told Art when we hung up with him this week, I'm like, after the Centennial game, and I know Centennial played them close for a half, but he spoke so highly. I was like, Centennial may be a state championship contender this week. He's very good at making sure his team is not overlooking anybody, and I don't think they're going to overlook Cambridge this week. They know, like all the COVID stuff and the games that canceled, we can't control that. That's out of our control. What we can control is going out and beating Cambridge tonight, and I think a 38-16 victory for River Ridge tomorrow is very realistic, and I do think they take care of business.
Well, as you mentioned, there is some disputes going on about what this would be. From the stand-up point, it's River Ridge would claim their first region championship with a win. Doesn't matter. They would also be able to do that with a Creekview win over Johns Creek. Either one will do it. Technically, we've heard from a few different people that it will be counted as a forfeit and a loss. No official word on that yet. I don't believe they haven't gone to the meeting yet. But that is something to keep an eye on. So if that is the case and Johns Creek was to win, then River Ridge would be pushed to the 2nd seed and Johns Creek would be pushed to the 1st seed, leaving Creekview as the 3rd seed in that situation. And there is also another thing in the fact that Cambridge is playing for the 4th seed. If Cambridge beats River Ridge, then they would be the 4th seed. So if you're a Sequoia fan, we'll talk about you in just one moment. But if you are if you're a Sequoia fan, you're rooting for River Ridge this week because you're going to need Cambridge to go ahead and beat them and move things forward.
They're huge River Ridge fans this week for the first time in a long time.
Right, you are. We're going to take a pause for 2 minutes. When we come back, we'll break down the Centennial and Sequoia game for you, as well as the game here between the Cherokee Warriors and the Milton Eagles. You're listening to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Cherokee pregame show. We're listening to WLJA 101.1 FM. 2 minutes, and we'll be back.
when you are the official sponsor of the comeback. Adding a few feet to a drive matters.
First down.
So does shaving 1/10 of a second off a lap. Top-rated surgery, physical therapy, and motion analysis by the sports medicine team at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta helps young athletes not only prevent injuries, but heal faster and return stronger, ready to win. Our more than 25 orthopedic and sports medicine locations are ready to assist your athlete's comeback. To learn more, visit choa.org/sportsmed.
At Foundation Financial Insurance and Wealth Management, we believe that your insurance protection and wealth management plan go hand in hand. We start by shopping your insurance with highly rated companies to find you the best combination of price and protection. With that plan in place, we can then work with you to develop a tailored financial plan. Whether you need to save money on insurance or you need a full financial plan, call us at 678-880-9571 or come by 670 East Main Street in Canton for a no-obligation consultation today. Securities and advisory services offered through Packerland Brokerage Services Incorporated, an unaffiliated entity member FNIRA and SIPC.
Not every road is worthy of a postcard, but don't tell that to the new Michelin Cross Climate 2 tires. Where you see 8 hours of road trip torment with stop-and-go traffic, the Michelin Cross Climate 2 with a 60,000-mile warranty sees a sun-filled family safe drive.
The Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire is safer for longer than leading competitors. Discover more at Michelin.com.
Turn to the experts and get a premium tire with premium service. Only at Canton Tire and Wheel in Canton.
Based on resistance to gravel and severe wear testing, compared to Michelin LTX MS, the 70,000-mile warranty only applies to E-metric sizes.
It's football time, and Brian Aaron at Woodstock Outlet has some great news for all the football fans.
Hey, y'all, we are glad to be a sponsor for these games and have a great time. Stay safe out there, and we just really do love being part of our community, and thankful we got the best customers a business could possibly have. And we built a new warehouse. We got it full for the pickup or delivery, so we're ready to go. Y'all come see us, and we sure do appreciate you.
Welcome back to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Cherokee pregame show. I'm your host, Will Cooper, joined alongside Vaughn Brown. Dave Garner stepped aside at the minute to go get himself something to eat like he is so good at doing. He'll be back in time for the game, hopefully, with all the mustard and ketchup cleared from his mouth by
already
that point.
Here, partner.
Will he bring the buffet back, though? That's always the question.
Everywhere he goes, he brings the buffet. That's what they say about Vaughn Brown is that, everywhere he goes, he brings the party.
That's it.
Well, Dave brings the buffet, and it's the combination of both of you that makes everything so good. But I tell you, we'll also have Arthur Mosley on a little bit later as well. And Ronnie on the spot here to do stats for us. He'll be joining us in a little bit as well. So we've got everybody here today. So let's get back to our conversation here, Vaughn. We were talking about the Cambridge-Sequoia scenario, so let's get into the Sequoia game as they're going to play a winless Centennial. Centennial will come into this one 0-7. They were supposed to play Creekview last week. That game got canceled. So their losses are to Roswell, Peachtree Ridge, Riverwood, Chattahoochee, Cambridge, River Ridge, and Johns Creek. Sequoia comes in 3-6. Cambridge, Chattahoochee, and Riverwood have all fallen to the Chiefs. Meanwhile, Woodstock, Cherokee, Cass, Johns Creek, Creekview, and River Ridge have all claimed victories. Sequoia, a pretty heavy favorite, a 28-point favorite according to our rankings, 25 according to the Maxwell ratings, 22 to CalPreps, 2 touchdowns by the Turd Ferguson report, and 15 points according to Patrick O'Shea. Centennial does lead the series all-time 2-0. And like we mentioned, for Sequoia, they can claim the 4th seed with a victory here and a Cambridge loss. So a lot riding on this one as well. Would be technically the 5th spot to fill in there for our 5 Cherokee County teams. So what are you looking for in this one?
I mean, you're probably without Jaden Mitchell again. They did it last week at Riverwood, and now you got a lesser Centennial team. And we keep hearing people say, Centennial does have talent. At the end of the day, they've held one opponent under 30 points. They have trouble scoring in the second half. They have, they're being outscored 35 to 10.5. So, I mean, without Jaden Mitchell, they did it last week. They learned last week how they have to go win. Peyton Lucas, Mark Lucas' son, stepped in and did a wonderful job last week. Kind of came out of nowhere, and you saw he rushed for over 100 yards. And Matthew Trainor's getting better and better and better. And then I discounted Art a couple weeks ago. Art was really high on that Sequoia defense, and I kept going, they're giving up 29 points a game. A good defense does not give up 29 points a game, but guess what? They got everybody back. There's no defensive that we know of quarantines this week, so they're 100% healthy on D, and they're playing like it. I mean, they held Riverwood down. I see them holding Centennial down. They know they have to win to give themselves a chance, and I see that happening tonight or tomorrow night. 38-14 is what I have Sequoia. I just don't think Centennial it's kind of like Etowah, right, over with Alpharetta over there. I don't see their first win coming tonight.
Right. So a quick recap here for you. Creekview, win the game, you're the second seed. Lose, you're the third seed. River Ridge, win for a region championship, or a Creekview victory over Johns Creek gives you the championship. A loss and a Johns Creek victory makes things a little bit more complex, but to be determined later. Sequoia, win and let River Ridge beat Cambridge, and you're in. Woodstock, win and you're in. So that is all the ways to get there. But with 7 minutes left on tap, let's jump into the Cherokee County Game of the Week as the Cherokee Warriors host the Milton Eagles. Cherokee comes in 8-1. Their wins are against Carver, 38-12 here in the Corky Kell. Sequoia, 41-20. Rome, 21-15. Creekview, 14-9. Cartersville, 14-12. Woodstock, 41-7. Etowah, 35-6. And Alpharetta, 28-14. They have suffered one loss on the season, and that was to Roswell about 3 weeks ago, as they lost 35-28. Coach Shaw's in his 9th season with the Cherokee Warriors as he has a 45-50 overall record. Turning the card, Milton comes in 8-0 now as they had a loss to Cedar Grove that got overturned due to a little bit of cheating on Cedar Grove's parts, but that's all we'll say about that. They have wins against Johns Creek 29-0, Hattville Charter 43-18, McEachern 16-3, Alpharetta 35-20, Etowah 35-0, Roswell 20-14, and Woodstock 52-21. This is Coach Adam Clack's 4th season with the Milton Eagles and a 57-22 career record for him. Should be a good one. Vaughn, Art's twin. What are you looking for?
I mean, look, Milton has. There's way more stars, and I mean it's stars in the matter of 3 and 4 and 5. There are a lot more stars on the Milton sideline and on the field. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. We saw them last week at Woodstock, and I know Woodstock's. The reality, Woodstock is not Cherokee, right?
Yeah.
So take it with what it was, but Milton was very dominant. They moved Bryce Thornton from defense a little bit to offense, and when he gets the ball on offense, you better have people around him because he's very electric. And I can't, it's for a coach to have that at your disposal and only give him the ball 2 times is crazy, but they have that much talent at their disposal. And the reality is Jordan Mcdonald, they could have given him the ball 30, 40 times last week, and they still won that game very bigly. So there is more talent on the Milton side. At the end of the day, and we talked about this week on the podcast, Cherokee's 8-1 for a reason. They played a tough schedule. They've got the three-headed monster, the juniors, with A.J. Swan and Keith Adams Jr. and Adarius Harshaw. They may be a little bit banged up on defense tonight, which this is not the game you want to be banged up. But to claim your first outright region championship since 2002, they're going to lay everything out there on the table. I think A.J., and we said this on Wednesday, I think A.J. is going to have to tuck it and run a little bit more than he likes to do that. He's used to sitting back there and sitting in the pocket and moving and still looking downfield. Tonight, if you have a chance to go get 5 yards, you got to go get it. And you may have to earn it, but you got to go get those yards. And to me, the key comes down to, can Keith Adams Jr. He doesn't have to do it by a lot. He has to outrush Jordan Mcdonald. One way or another, Cherokee has to hold Jordan Mcdonald down a little bit, and KAJ, they've got to be able to run the ball. If they can't, you're in trouble because that Milton pass rush, they pin their ears back, and AJ's under pressure all night. If Keith Adams Jr. runs the ball, if you look down at that field and Keith Adams Jr. is having early success, that could bode well for Cherokee.
Right you are. Coming into this one, Milton, a 3-point favorite according to Meyer Rankings, Cal Preps, and our good friend Arthur Mosley has him picked at a 4-point clip. For the first time I've ever seen it, the max rating has him even at 20. Milton leads the all-time series 18-14. Coach Shaw is 0-4 against Milton, but this is Adam Clack's first game against Cherokee and Shaw as well. Winner's the first seed. You're the region champion, and you get to face the loser of Mill Creek and Peachtree Ridge. The second seed still gets a home playoff game, but will have to face the winner of that game instead. That'll do it for the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Cherokee pregame show. When we come back, we'll give it back to Diamond Dave Garner as he'll take us to kickoff and bring you the first half of action here in the WLJA Cherokee County Game of the Week.
Welcome to Perk Up. What can I get you?
Can I have a large, skinny, non-fat macchiato with
My 15-year-old has the taste buds of a middle-aged woman. But she's no adult. That's why we took her to Children's for her scoliosis. Their pediatric orthopedic program is nationally ranked. Their specialists understand growing bones and how to treat them. My kid ordering an adult-style coffee? Okay. Going to an adult doctor? Not so much.
Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Orthopedics. Where you take them matters. Learn more at choa.org/ortho.
There's been so much talk about distracted driving, you're probably sick of hearing about it. Well, we'd rather you be sick of hearing about it than lose your life doing it. The caring staff with Sosby Funeral Home in Canton reminds you that we all have to go sometime, but don't rush it. Wait your turn and don't drive distracted. Keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and make sure you stay alert and arrive alive. Drive safely and help us protect our teens. They're the only future we've got. Brought to you by Sosby Funeral Home, honoring life from 191 Jarvis Street in Canton.
Hi, it's Dave Garner, voice of the Cherokee County Game of the Week. But did you know I'm also your local Woodman Life representative and poverty prevention specialist? For over 130 years, Woodman Life has protected families with life insurance and retirement products. And as your local agent, I want to make sure that your money outlives you and that you don't outlive your money. Call or text me at 706-273-9347 or visit my Facebook page at Dave Garner Woodman Life to learn how I can help you or your loved ones today. Insurance protection, financial security, Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
The #1 magazine to read is Enjoy Cherokee. This beautiful full-color seasonal publication keeps you in the know with articles about interesting people, fun events, hot restaurants, and cool ideas. Enjoy Cherokee is for busy people who enjoy a lifestyle magazine worth reading and keeping. You'll find Enjoy Cherokee available at most high-traffic locations and mailed free to homes throughout Cherokee County. Join the thousands who don't miss a single issue. Follow us on Facebook and find issues on enjoycherokee.com. Ask for a free publication and enjoy.
Welcome to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on WLJA. We're here at Tommy Baker Field for the Cherokee Warriors as they host the Milton Eagles in the de facto Region 5 7A Championship. I'm Will Cooper, handing it off to my good friend, longtime broadcast partner, podcast partner, everything under the sun. We pretty much do it together, except for eating. You can't keep up with the guy, Diamond Dave Garner.
You know, I took a lot of abuse last week, a lot of abuse. So tonight I might have to dish a little of it back here. But, you know, right. But I'll take the high road because that's what I do. I mean, even Art and Vaughn took their stabs at me a little bit last week. That's okay. My feelings aren't too hurt. Well, but we're ready for it. Though. I'm looking forward to it here tonight. I do want to welcome Art. He's up here with us as well. And looking forward to it. We'll have Vaughn back, of course, at halftime during the Foundation Financial Halftime Show. And, of course, the Sosby Funeral Home post-game show and everything, but we got Art during the game here, and so that, you know, hey, it worked out. It worked out both ways. We got the best of both worlds, so excited about it.
Excited about it as well. Ronnie on the spot over there doing statistics for us, and Ace of Spades Jones back on Master Controls making us sound so good like he always does.
You know, you guys were talking real quick, too, and we were talking about some of the other games going on. I really think coming into the season we thought it might be a tough year for Sequoia. Chiefs, of course, are playing tomorrow. This might be James Teeter's best coaching job yet, you know, considering, you know, the you know, all the different folks that have been out, the way they started, you know, 0-5, I guess, and for them to be flirting with the playoff spot this weekend says a lot. And I'm looking forward to seeing how all these games play out, particularly this one here tonight. So, all right, well, I mean, you know, what a turnaround for Sequoia.
What a turnaround indeed, Dave. 0-5, going with a chance to go to the playoffs. And again, we before we kick off here briefly, early in the season, we talked to Coach Teeter, and he said, "Hey, if we can just get a couple of things fixed, guys, we're not far off." And his words have come to fruition. They have a chance to punch their ticket tomorrow, if some things fall into place, of course.
Yep. So here we go. Meanwhile, our attention tonight on this 33rd meeting all time between the Cherokee Warriors and the Milton Eagles. The first meeting between these two was way back in, of course, the 1950s, and they have played sporadically ever since as Cherokee won the opening toss, and Milton will boot it away and end over in kick that will come down right at the 1-yard line, but it is returnable for Darius Harshaw, who spins his way up across the 20-yard line, and he'll have the 25 to start things out. So the Warriors 1st and 10, and we'll see that offense first. It's averaging right at 28.8 points a ball game.
Yeah, and they come in scoring 8.9 points above what teams average allowing them to score. Meanwhile, on the other side of that, Milton allowing only 10 points a game, and they're allowing teams 11.2 points less than what they average.
So the Warriors, again, coming off a bye week. They had Alpharetta 2 weeks ago and won 28-14, as the guy said in the pregame show here tonight. A.J. Swan was 10 of 16 for 147 yards and a touchdown. And he'll clap his hands here 4 yards deep behind center. They bring Bachrer from right to left across the formation. And here's Keith Adams Jr., his first carry of the night. breaks off of one tackler but not another, and maybe a yard brings up second down and 9. And they're certainly going to need a huge effort tonight from 7A's leading rusher.
Well, a good job by Derek Battle there, was able to push his, as we mentioned, LT Overton, the 2023 number 1 recruit, did a good job helping him out with Steve Hardison, pushing him to the right side of the line, but also a good open field tackle by Olin Pauly, the linebacker, junior, 5'11", 180 for Milton, keeping him wrapped up and keeping him to a short game.
Keith Adams Jr., 1,246 yards rushing coming in, as we said, good enough for tops in 7A, 8th in the state right now altogether. And this is a low snap on the ground, bobbled, and Swan will eat it back inside the 20. A big sack there. By the time he was able to get the handles on that one, he had a face full of several white jerseys led by LT Overton, number 9, who, of course, we've talked a lot about.
Yeah, that'll end up being his 13th sack of the year, and there's a flag coming late here.
Yeah, back at the 21. We'll have to see what this is. I think it's on the Warriors, and looks like a false start.
Well, that's a break for them.
It's a pre-snap penalty, so I guess
declinable, so it'll be a legal formation instead of a false start.
So that penalty back at the 19. So it'll be third down. You know, we talked about, and you guys talk a lot about it, staying in front of the chains, and right now the Warriors well behind. They've got a third down and about 16 upcoming right here on this play from inside their own 20.
Well, they've been at 3rd and 84 before, so this isn't unfamiliar.
Twist to the near side, and they're going to throw a quick one out there to Harshaw, trying to split a couple of defenders, and is up across the 25 but drugged down at the 27. So well shy of the first down, and the Warriors are 3 and out on their opening series.
Once again, another good open field tackle by Owen Pauly, keeping everything in front of him. Good job by Adarius to fight for enough yardage to get back to almost the original line of scrimmage from the second down play. So bring up 4th and 9, but an obvious punting situation here for Boschler.
Yeah, it didn't look like they were going to go deep with only two wide receivers in that formation, so we knew something quick to maybe try to surprise. Milton didn't work, so here's a punt.
Minute and a half gone here in this opening quarter. They lay out and nearly got a hand on it. Line drive kick. It's fielded at the 43-yard line, and that is number 15 on the return. Again, that's Adam Frias, the junior wide receiver, but good coverage by the Warriors, who hold him to about a 3 or 4 yard return up to the 47, and that's where Milton will start. But they'll have pretty good field position here on the opening series with 2 minutes gone in the opening quarter and no score.
We'll credit Dayton out there, the sophomore wide receiver, did a good job keeping him wrapped up and didn't allow him to get outside on him, and enough to bring down, it was only a gain of about 2 or 3 for them.
So in to work is Devin Farrell, the starting quarterback, and they've got a host of folks, as we know, including Jordan Mcdonald, who are all-state caliber players. And the first snap, shotgun snap, they'll keep it on the ground, and here is McDonald's first toe to the night, outside far side, breaks off of a tackle and takes it to the sideline and will reach the Warrior 41. So a big run on first down, and a gain it right at 11 or 12 yards, and Milton just like that getting it done.
Yeah, that's the last thing you wanted to see is Jordan McDonald getting started early here. He's a big guy, as we mentioned, 6'1", 210. Nobody really wants to get in front of him and tackle, but the Warriors are going to have to man up and do it at some point here tonight, but enough to move the chains.
Meyer, Tacheo, Johnson, the guards, down for the tackles here, and once again now looking, and this is Farrell who will run it, and a little miscommunication there on the exchange. McDonald went one way, and I think Farrell was looking to hand it off, but he didn't take it, and he was ate up in the backfield. Nice job there by the Warriors, who were all over that one. That's a 3-yard loss, 2nd and 13.
Yeah, Brayson Parker, the first one through the hold there, was able to wrap him up, doing a good job. Devin Farrell, 6'1", 185. Brayson Parker, 5'11", 205. 106th tackle of the season.
Meanwhile, the Warriors, again, lining up defensively. Going to see a lot of Holcomb and Cody Butler tonight. They're going to really rotate along that defensive line. Here's 2nd and 13. Farrell out of a shotgun snap, looking, reverses his field right now. Left finds a man open. Oh, in and out of the hands and bobbled by Daniel Black, the senior wide receiver / tight end. He just took his eyes off of that one. Started upfield a little too early right there, and it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, nothing you can say about that. Just tried to run with the ball before he had it.
So fortune turns into misfortune right now on this drive, and we'll see if Cherokee can hold and get the ball back.
Well, how big would this be, for the Warriors, again, giving Milton a short field? We all know what they do, 33 points a game. And, of course, that's not even including the forfeit game against Cedar Grove. So big opportunity right here for the Warriors to get off the field. 3rd down and 13 from the Cherokee 43. Devin Farrell just going to run it, but going to be well shy of a first down. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage and then maybe a yard just inside the 40, down to about the 38.5. Fourth down, but hey, guys, on this part of the field, you got to wonder if they'll try to just go for it right here.
That was Brayson Parker again on a great open field tackle. Looks like they're going to try and pick it up here. We've seen Devin Farrell carry it twice. We didn't see him run the ball much against Woodstock, kind of something that I figured they would show more here. Empty the tank, unload the gun, if you will. They have everything that they can do here. So, but watch for a quick pass with Adam Frias.
Or an ATO right here.
Yeah,
right?
There you go.
Attempt to draw off sides.
Adam Clack, fourth season, has a lot of confidence in his defense. Let's see what Ben Reeves, the offensive coordinator, oh boy, a big sack.
Will Ross.
Devin Farrell was laid out back towards midfield as Will Ross brought the pressure off the edge over on the far side, and Farrell never saw him.
My goodness, talking about unabated to the quarterback, was never even touched. He went to set his feet. Next thing you know, hello, Will Ross. Second sack of the season for that young man, and this Cherokee sideline is fired up. I don't know what capacity is, but it looks like they found a few extra tickets in the back row.
Well, Art, you said it. I mean, that was about the best that the Warriors could come up with right there. That's even better than a punt.
No doubt about it. I think Coach Clack is going to take that play and just toss it in the garbage as they go over to halftime.
So A.J. Swan and Cherokee back to work. Going to fire it out to Adams out of the backfield here on first down inside the 45 as he tiptoes the sideline and finally shoved out over here on the near side, but a gain of about 7-8 yards on first down.
Bryce Thornton got a face full of Keith Adams Jr. there, did a good job getting around Owen Polly, who's made two good open field tackles, but Bryce Thornton didn't really want much of Keith Adams, just kind of pushed him out to the sideline there, gain of 8, and a really good first down play.
So 2nd and 2 inside Milton territory as the Warriors cross mid-stripe for the first time tonight. Adams Jr., again, the lone back, came in with 12:46, as we said, with 14 touchdowns. Also has a receiving touchdown as well. He'll split out in motion this time. Swan takes a look, now steps up, in trouble, just going to tuck it, run it, gets what he can, and he'll get just beyond the first down marker. He needed a couple yards there. There was nothing open over the flat. They were trying to go to Adams out of the backfield, but it was covered. So Swan stepped up, picked up a couple yards, gets the first down of the Milton 40.
Well, something to keep your eye on is that A.J. Swan was running around with the ball out like a loaf of bread there. L.T. Overton came over and tried to punch it out, but I guess he has strong enough hands he was able to cover it back up. So when A.J. runs, they really need to make sure they focus on ball security.
And he's got a clean pocket so far. I know a small sample size here, but so far the offensive line is holding up for Cherokee.
First down and 10, moving left to right, 7:42 here in the opening quarter, no score. And this time Swan will fire, near side flag comes flying in. That's complete to Harshaw inside the 35, but let's see if it stands.
Not sure where this is. It's kind of out in the flat. It would be a tough place to call a holding. Illegal formation maybe. An eligible man downfield is what it will be.
So here we go. We'll mark that yardage off there. And the Warriors again with their second penalty. The first one, of course, on the opening series was waved off and declined by Milton. But you look out there at this Milton defense, obviously we talk a lot about L.T. Overton. He's a man amongst boys here, but they've also got several other guys over on that side. Been impressed with Edwards. He comes off the edge, a good linebacking core, and needless to say, their secondary is very athletic with Canyon and Thornton at the corners. And then, of course, you've got Smalley and Horton that are very physical in the back end as the safeties there. And very tough defense to score against, and they've allowed just right under 11 points a ball game.
Yeah, you're going to see them do a lot of press coverage today and try and force them to keep the pocket clean for a little bit longer than Cherokee is comfortable with. But Brett O'Buck's got his guys coached up well.
So 1st and 15 after the penalty. Here's Adams Jr. They'll just keep it on the ground right here and try to get a little bit of that yardage back. They'll pick up about 3. And it'll be 2nd down and about 12. That time they brought Harshaw from right to left to put trips to that side. And might be setting up something there to the weak side. They like to overload one side and run the back across the green.
Well, one thing I will point out is that they've checked Keith Adams Jr. a lot of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him play both ways today. We've seen him at defensive end for a little bit. Obviously, Vaughn mentioned in the pregame show that they might have some injuries on the defensive line, so keep an eye on that.
Empty set right here, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Swan throwing over the middle. He's got Harshaw complete. And that one good for about 5 yards inside the 40 down to the 37. So it will be a manageable 3rd down and medium to long here. They'll need about 7 yards. They need to take it right to the Milton 30-yard line for a first down.
Good play by both of them. I think you go away from that. Cherokee feels like they won by getting a little bit of a closer 3rd and manageable. Milton wins by keeping them to a manageable play here. Dylan Miller on the tackle there against Adarius Harshaw, the junior. 57 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and a sack for him. And Adarius, the leading receiver in all of Cherokee County based on yardage, 658 and 6 touchdowns coming into this game.
Bacher and Shockley in the slot to the left. Now they'll bring Shockley across the formation back here to the near side. And they've got Harshaw over here as well. Swan looking, steps up in the pocket under pressure, and he will go down right at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if they're going to call that a sack or not, and they may have got him for a loss there, so we'll call it a sack, as that pocket that time that Art was talking about did collapse.
Well, it collapsed, Dave, but he had 1,001, 1,002, up to maybe 1,004. The internal clock has got to go off for AJ. He's got to step up or buy some more time by releasing, getting outside the pocket there.
And Keith Adams Jr. was open out in the release flat out there. I was just waiting for him to dump it off, but he never even looked his way. He was trying the home run ball with Harshaw, and Connor Gay was the one that will be credited with that tackle or sack, depending how they score it.
So 4th down, and the Warriors are going to take a play out of Milton's playbook, and they're going to go for it on about the same spot on the field that Milton showed they were going for it just a moment ago inside the 40, and they were going to snap that ball, but I think Cherokee called a timeout. They did because the play clock was winding down towards 0. And so Josh Shaw will call the first Warrior timeout here of the first half.
I don't think they were going to snap it anyway.
Attempt to draw sides, or they
I know that, I mean, I think from this standpoint, they might come back out here and discuss it at this point. But for me, it's a tough balance, right? Because you don't want to play too conservatively. Obviously, you don't have to be the upset team. You're not that big of an underdog. Most people have you by a possession or so. But you also don't want to be too aggressive here and put yourself behind in a situation where you give Milton a whole bunch of room to play.
Sure. We've seen I've seen Cherokee in this situation over at Roswell in this same scenario here. Drop back and try to do a quick kick. That one backfired on Cherokee a few weeks back, so I'm not sure if Coach Shaw is looking at that right now. Maybe attempt to draw off sides, but 5:24. Let's roll the dice. They've already secured the number 2 seed, guys. So
right, not a lot to lose,
right.
really. I mean, if you think about it coming in,
assuming they,
right.
The other chips, fall
right
in the region,
yeah.
But
even if you draw them off right here, I mean, obviously 4th and 8. He puts you in a little bit more manageable situation if you do draw them off to go for it. But I think burning a timeout right here and bringing the offense back on the field, I think we have our answer. They're just going to line up and go for it right here. Trips near side, receiver up top, one back. Again, that's Adams Jr. From the Milton 37, shotgun snap. Swan firing across the middle. He has him in, but well shy of the first down. Just inside the 35. Harshaw again with another reception. They've gotten him involved early in this game, but they needed 8. They only got about 5. Just didn't quite run that route deep enough. He was really the only one open underneath.
Yeah, that's one of those where you just kind of, as a coach, you just beat your head in and say, look, the play is designed for you to look at the first down marker and run even with it. You don't have to get more than that. But unfortunately, the route got cut off a little bit short, had to make the cut a little quick, and enough to turn over the downs.
So a nice job by the Milton defense. They turn away the Warriors. Both defenses stepping up here on the opening series, and now Milton goes back to work. Here's Mcdonald, makes one-man miss, hits the far sideline, gets up to the 40-yard line, a gain of 7 or 8 yards on first down.
The thing that's so impressive about Mcdonald is his deceptive speed. He's a big kid, and it's so deceptive. You think this guy's just going to be a bruiser, but he outruns defensive backs on the edge and gets to the sideline and, sets up a 2nd and short here.
Yeah, did a good job beating Austin Trimble to the corner there.
785 yards for Mcdonald coming in. Remember, they've only played 8 games. 6.5 yards a touch, 112 a game, and 17 touchdowns. Here's Mcdonald again, this time over the right side, and he'll pick up the needed yardage for a first down. It was 2nd and 3, picked up about 5 or 6 to the 45, and a fresh set of downs for the Milton Eagles.
I believe Adam Clatt got on the headset and said, hey, let's quit with the cute stuff. Remember, we got Jordan McDonald in the backfield, and let's do with what works. And so far, enough to move the chains. And, Cherokee's going to have, like we said, in the first possession, they're going to have to man up and just decide that they want to get after it.
4:22 to play here in the opening quarter. No score on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. And the Milton Eagles on the move. They were running a little option play that time. Farrell kept it, spun back into the middle, picked up about 3, just shy of the midfield stripe.
Yeah, they like to do that a lot. The pitch option, he read the defensive end. That's Toby Thompson that he was running towards his side of the field, collapsed back inside, and a good job by the interior of that defensive line, keeping him to a gain of 3.
We talked a lot about the Milton defensive line, but Cherokee's, we've seen them a lot this season, guys, and they are hanging tough right now early on.
For sure. Devin Farrell beat you a lot of different ways. 14-18 through the air this year, 448 on the ground. He scored about every way you can score, and this time he'll throw one out of the backfield. And that is number 7 there, Bryce Thornton, who has his first touch of the night offensively. And that one will be good enough for a first down all the way down inside the Warrior 40. They'll give him the 35, just a quick hitter out of the backfield, tiptoed that sideline, and a big gain there for Milton.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we saw for the first time from this Milton team last week was the utilization of him. And unfortunately, it seems like it worked out very well, and they're going to keep him out there. So Bryce Thornton, a 5-star point guard. So he's an athlete all around, but don't be surprised if you'll see him on offense and defense as he is a second corner.
That makes Art smile. He's a big basketball guy. He's over here drooling.
I'd like to see him on the sideline on offense here against Cherokee on defense, guys.
First down at 10. Devin Farrell, great play fake, takes it back naked the other way and goes inside the 20 down to the 15-yard line. And so a big play right there of about 20 yards as they fake the handoff to the left, came back to the right and had all kinds of running room.
Fooled everybody, as we just mentioned. All that attention you have to play to Bryce Thornton because of how fast he is in the open field. You forget Devin Farrell is a 3-star dual-threat quarterback, and he is a true dual threat coming in with 450 yards on the ground in this game.
So Milton trips to the near side. They will snap it from the Warrior 15-yard line. And a quick hitter right here. That's Gatling, the freshman, who has his first grab of the night. He's very impressive. And he'll carry it down inside the 10-yard line. Riley Lyons, it looked like, was the one that came over there, or maybe that was Chase Goddard, actually 16, that came over and made the stop. But inside the 10-yard line, though, we'll snap this next one from the 8, and Milton is knocking on the door.
Yeah, DeBron Gatling, as we mentioned, we got an introduction to him last week. He has offers from Texas A&M and UGA as a freshman.
So second down and 3, and the Eagles methodically moving the football here on their second series, and this time they'll go back to Mcdonald, who has a running lane, and he will take it in. From 8 yards out, that's Jordan Mcdonald, the 6'1", 210-pound junior running back, who has his first score of the night. That's rushing touchdown 18 on the year for Mcdonald, and Milton draws first blood here with 2:04 to play in the opening quarter.
Yeah, that's one of those deflating drives. You kind of feel the air taken out of this Cherokee offensive, the Cherokee sideline. Obviously the turnover on downs certainly doesn't help to begin with, and then that drive of nothing but ground and pound aside from a couple of passes really kind of took the air out of the ball and maybe the spirit out of the Cherokee fans so far. But, of course, there's a lot of football left to be played. We still have 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
Jason Austin puts his right foot into it and knocks it through there. So 2:04 to play in the opening period. 7-0. Milton leads it on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. We'll step aside for 30 seconds and be right back to Tommy Bakerfield in Canton. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
Game on! Football's back, and we're celebrating at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County. Get game-winning offers right now. Drive the best-selling 2020 Nissan Rogue, or check out the redesigned 2020 Sentra. If you try it, you'll buy it. They're that good, fun, and affordable. Catch the savings now before they're gone. Only at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County, across from the Holly Springs Walmart. Online at NissanNorthAtlanta.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.
Back here live at Tommy Bakerfield in Canton, Georgia. Dave Garner alongside Will Cooper. Art Mosley in the booth with us here tonight. Ronnie on the spot on the numbers. Von Brown will be back at halftime as well during our Foundation Financial halftime show. 7-0 Milton striking on their second series. An 8-yard touchdown run by Jordan McDonald, and the PAT makes it a 7-0 ball game. And now Milton will boot it right to left with Darius Harshaw back deep for the Warriors. And this one will actually be taken inside the 10-yard line.
Brady Bosher there.
That's Bosher who, will have that one up across the 20-25 and drug down right at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, that last drive was 7 plays, 67 total yards, 5 of it on the ground for 44 yards, 2 of 2 passing for 23 yards, 3 first downs, 3 minutes and 13 seconds time of possession, enough to make the score 7-0 in favor of Milton. And as we mentioned, it's a really deflating drive at this point for Cherokee. Obviously still very early in this game, but with the way that they grounded and pounded you, it really makes things a little bit difficult for your defense to get back out there with the same energy they came out with to begin with.
Well, I think that means you need to rely on your offense to answer, maybe not to get the ball in the end zone, but a chance to get that defense some rest and to say, hey, we're not backing down, guys.
Got to answer the bell right here, absolutely. Senior night here at Tommy Bakerfield. A lot of folks are decked out here tonight. A good crowd on hand for what, of course, is allowed in the stadium as the Warriors go back to work. Quick hitter right here. Bacher on the other side up to the 30, takes a big hit in front of the Milton bench as you hear their sideline and fans are up. And a gain of 4 yards on first down, 2nd and 6, and a nice job there by Brady to hang on to that football.
Yeah, it was Connor Gay on the hit there. As we mentioned, he had a sack earlier in this game, and that was just an absolute bomb. He just turned around. Next thing you know, he's getting body slammed. So good open field tackle there, but a good play by Cherokee Reality. Gain of 5 yards, 31-yard line, 2nd and manageable here.
Warriors again needing first downs right here. Not necessarily the home run ball, though I wouldn't be surprised if we see it at some point with the big play guys that they have, particularly on that side. Fake handoff right here over the top. That's Bacher again, goes up, makes a great grab, stays on his feet, reaches midfield, and will take it just into Milton territory at the 47. And that time Bacher ran a little seam right, a little skinny post right into the middle of the field with a defender in front of him. Somehow or another, Swan put that ball right where it had to be.
A fantastic throw by A.J. Swan, right where it had to be, and a really good catch by Bacher as well.
So no huddle right here. Warriors quickly up to the line. Again, Swan throwing that last one into window. Here's another one. That one well played, though. They were trying to hit Harshaw down the near sideline at the 25, but it was broken up nicely in the back end by the Milton Eagles secondary. I believe that was Thornton who got his hand on that one and knocked it away.
Yeah, you're right. You're talking about a pretty big size difference. Bryce Thornton, 5'11", 190 as a sophomore, and then on the other side of that, Adarius Harshaw's 5'10", 155 as a junior. So a little bit more size for the corner in that matchup.
51 seconds here, opening quarter. Milton leads at 7-0. Warriors, though, on the Milton 47, their second drive. And, of course, their third drive, and this one in Milton territory once again. Here's Harshaw, quick hitter near side, tries to split a couple defenders, spins, stays on his feet, works his way, and finally shoved out at the 36. And a big gain right there and right at the first down marker, and I believe that'll be good enough to move those chains.
Move those chains, brother.
Hey, guys, I don't think we talk about Derek Battle enough. He is doing a heck of a job. He's getting a little bit of help sometimes, but he's going one-on-one with LT Overton, and he's holding his own so far this drive.
And that's a huge task right here as the Warriors quickly snap the ball, throw it over the middle. They got a man complete inside the 25. What a throw. Swan on the money. It was a skinny post, and Brady Bacher was all over that one as he grabs it, hauls it in, and takes it to the ground.
Guys, got a score update for you. Creekview up 7-0 over Johns Creek. Etowah up 6-0 over Alpharetta in the early going.
All righty, there we go. Some excitement brewing here already in the county. And the Warriors quickly on the move. Here's Keith Adams Jr. Makes a man miss. Sideline, 10-5, dives to the pylon. And I believe they are going to mark him just shy of the goal line. Wow.
Put a defensive back on skates there with some of those shifty moves by Keith Adams Jr. Great drive for the Warriors now. 1st and goal at the 1.
Yeah, I tell you, this is the exact answer you wanted from this Cherokee team. They're ripping them apart over the middle, and then when you get tired of getting beat over the middle, they're going to drop back in zone. I got some news for you. We got a 3-star guy, too. His name's Keith Adams Jr. Allow me to introduce myself, the leading rusher in 7A last week off the bye week.
And they've got, again, Parker there at fullback. They'll hand it to Adams right, but he is stopped shy of the goal line and driven backwards. May have lost a half yard on that play as the final seconds will tick off the clock here in the opening quarter. So we will take a break. And when we come back, the Warriors will have it 2nd and goal down on the other end. 30 seconds and then back with more. It's 7-0 Milton over Cherokee on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. 30 seconds and back with the rest of the first half here. Again, you're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
It's football time, and Brian Aaron at Woodstock Outlet has some great news for all the football fans.
Hey, y'all, we are glad to be a sponsor for these games and have a great time. Stay safe out there, and we just really do love being part of our community, and thankful we got the best customers a business could possibly have. And we built a new warehouse. We got it full for the pickup or delivery, so we're ready to go. Y'all come see us, and we sure do appreciate you.
And we welcome you back here live to Tommy Baker Field. Again, the Cherokee Warriors trailing the Milton Eagles 7-0 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard at the end of this first quarter. But the Warriors have it 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line as we flip fields. And both teams go all the way down to the other end here. And they'll be working right to left. And the Warriors basically doing on this drive what Milton did to them on the previous drive, as they have just methodically marched this football right down the field.
Yeah, Milton has 12 plays, 72 total yards, 9 of that on the ground for 49 yards, 2 of 3 passing for 23 yards, 4 first downs, 451 time of possession. Cherokee has 18 plays for 98 yards, 7 of 19 on the ground, but 8 of 9 passing for 79 yards. 5 first downs. They only have 1 penalty. That was an illegal man downfield, and that was a 5-yard penalty for a 7-minute and 9-second time of possession for them. So winning the time of possession battle, and a big stop right here as it brings up 2nd down.
2nd down, they'll actually say that first down loss, that first down play was a loss of 1, and a direct snap right here in a reverse, and a little pass play, the Philly special, and it works for a touchdown. The throw back to A.J. Swan out of the backfield. How about that? They run the reverse, and then they throw the pass, and Swan was right inside the pylon over on the far sideline. And so how about that? Number 10 will have a receiving touchdown here tonight, and that play is becoming awfully popular at all levels.
Well, I think, Creekview found it out a couple of weeks ago with that Vaccaro Curry special, and next thing you know, we're going to have Philly. That's the straight-up Philly happening here in Cherokee County, Georgia.
So Joel Stahl will look to tie it up right here. 11:54. Oh, a bad snap, a low snap right there, and Stahl's just going to fall on it all the way back at the 29, so the point is no good. And the Warriors will still trail in this ball game, but 7-6 now on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. We'll keep the action right here with you with just 6 seconds gone here in the second quarter. But, we talked about it coming into the drive, and you mentioned it, Art, answering the bell, and this Warrior offense able to go all the way down the field.
Yeah, Dave, I'm sorry about that. I got caught up in some of the action on the sideline here. Able to answer the bell, a lot of quick passes, a lot of 3-step drops for A.J. Swan that time, and some very accurate passes. But, Dave, I'm going to tell you, that extra point could loom large later on in the ball game. So as you're making notes, mark that down at the 11:54 mark, missed or not even attempted PAT because of the bad snap. And so we'll see if the Warriors offense has rejuvenated their defense. They've had some time to catch their breath, as they get another taste of Devin Farrell and Jordan Mcdonald here as kickoff is moments away.
Well, and we were trying to figure out who threw that ball. I'm not sure if that was Shockley or if that was Bacher that threw that, but one of the receivers was coming around on reverse, and they were able to find Swan.
I thought it was number 8. Was it Dylan?
So that's what I was wondering.
Dylan Charland?
Yeah, Dylan Charland perhaps. Sophomore wide receiver. We'll get confirmation of that and share it with you.
Trying to figure it out right now.
But here are the Warriors who will boot it away right to left, and this one, goes back through the hands there of the return man, Cam Canyon, who's also a very outstanding corner, but was trying to field that ball right at the 1-yard line, keep it out of the end zone to give itself a chance at a return, but that will be a touchback. And Milton will have it at the 20-yard line. So 7-6 ball game right here. Again, the Milton Eagles lead it by 1. And the de facto Region 5-7A championship game here tonight at Tommy Baker Field. We're thankful that you've joined us here on this crisp and cool but beautiful Friday night here in Canton, Georgia. So 1st down and 10 as Devin Farrell and company go back to work. Gatling over here. They'll swap he and Matthew Ebert, the senior wide receiver, who Ebert now goes to the slot, play action. Going to take a shot. Oh, that ball slipped out of his hand. It's a fumble, and one of the linemen got back on that ball, and that ball just slipped right out of his hand, but
it'd be incomplete.
They're going to say his arm was coming forward. I'm not sure if one of the Warriors got a hand on it. It looked like it just came out of his hand.
Yeah, maybe a little I don't know if there's much humidity out here tonight. You can't blame it on the condensation here. He just lost his grip on the ball, and fortunate for Cherokee because he looked like he was loading up to go deep that time.
Yeah,
100%.
Jack Phillips, the senior center, was the one that fell back on it, although it was ruled incomplete anyway. And now they've got number 10. That's Daniel Blake, tight end, who shifts over in an H-back formation. And here's the snap. This is run all the way. Devin Farrell, quarterback run, trying to get to the sideline, makes the man miss, breaks off another tackle, spins his way up to the 35 over on the far side, and that'll be a gain of 15 and a Milton first down.
This kind of feels like a heavyweight fight right now between two really good fighters. You have one guy throw that punch that you think, man, that might be it. And the next thing you know, you turn around, you have another one. And then there's a miscue, right? The mixed point after attempt. Well, then they obviously the incomplete pass that almost was a fumble there for Milton, just going back and forth right now.
Farrell this time out of the gun. They'll keep it on the ground. That's Mcdonald. 40-yard line. Gets behind that offensive line and keeps those legs driving. He'll have 8 or 9 on the quick hitter between the tackles there, setting up a 2nd and short. And this is really where, if you're an offense, you can kind of open up your playbook a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We might see a play-action pass here. I would not be shocked if we saw number 7 check back in the game, Bryce Thornton. And I don't believe he's out there. So I am kind of shocked that he's not out there. But, hey, you know what? You got big number 5 in the backfield. You get to turn around and hand it to him, Dave, and just pick up that first down.
Watch for a option play off to the left side here.
So a couple backs stacked in the backfield right here with twins to the far side. Nope, going to fake it. Devin Farrell loads up deep down the field. It's intercepted to 31. Intercepted in the back end of the defense by the Warriors. And the return up to the 37-yard line. And what a play by Riley Lyons, who was playing center field that time. And I'm not sure where Farrell was throwing that football. A little miscommunication there on the route. He just overthrew everyone. And Lyons, with the easy interception, gets a little bit of a return and the first turnover of the night.
Yeah, that was Riley Lyons' 4th interception of the season, making him the leading interceptor in the Cherokee County School District, so good news for him. Yeah, you're exactly right. Farrell was kind of airing it out there, looking deep, and the only guy that was out there happened to be in red. Good news for us as he brings it down, and it looks like Nathan Simmons is going to be playing defensive end here.
So here we go.
So,
all right, so Milton again in all white here tonight. Cherokee with the black hats, the red jerseys, and the black pants, and a quick throw out here to the near side to the 40. And that one complete to Hayden Shockley, who picks up about 5-6 yards there on first down. And Cherokee will have a 2nd and 5 here as they look to move the football. Trailing by 1 here with 10 minutes left in the first half.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to WLJA.
You're listening to WLJA FM 101.1 and WLJA HD1 LJ, Woodstock, Jasper, Canton, and all of North Georgia.
Asa Jones back on master control tonight, keeping us on the air and sounding good. 2nd down and 4. Keith Adams Jr. off the right side, but he won't get the first down. He may have not gotten back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half yard at the most, as he was stacked up over there pretty good. As we talked about, this Milton defense and the front there, Overton, 12.5 sacks coming in, 50 tackles. Tumina, you've got Edwards stacking up the middle, Gay coming off the edge as well with 2 fumble recoveries. A very opportunistic defense this year by Milton, 23.5 sacks, 7 interceptions. They've also forced 7 fumbles and recovered 6 of them.
Well, I'd like to go ahead and apologize to everybody that was listening and thinking, why is he saying Nathan Simmons playing defensive end? I forgot we just intercepted a pass.
Well, I was kind of wondering that, too.
Cherokee's on offense.
You're already on the next series. That's okay to think ahead, though, partner.
Hey, just throwing out ideas. Coach Shaw, I know you like to listen to us, so just an idea.
3rd and 3. Fake the handoff. Swan under pressure, trying to get rid of it, but he will just tuck it and eat it back inside the 40, all the way back at the 36, and just not a lot he could do there. A lot of pressure off the far side coming off the edge, and that play, that time they were looking downfield, but just didn't have enough time for anything to develop.
Something to keep your eye on, Steve Hardison, number 69, the senior, 6 foot, 270-pound right guard, having a really hard time getting around right now on that ankle. He's having even some troubles getting off the field.
Yeah, and that pressure came from that side. Brendan Doyle just came off the right side. Swan had a little bit of time to throw, but again, once you get past 3 seconds back in that pocket, you really got to let that ball loose against this Milton defense.
Botcher, the punter, back.
Yep. And, the snap over his head, and that one's going to go into the end zone, and Bacher trying to just knock this ball out to prevent a touchdown. He's not able to do it, though, as one of the Milton Eagles falls on that football, and that will be a touchdown for Milton, and I believe it looks like that was number 8 who picked it up, fell on it, Dane Edwards, the senior inside linebacker on special teams. And we talked about it coming in. There a little bit of change of personnel in there, and particularly on the long snap. And that time, that one just sailed over Bacher's head, went into the end zone, was unable to come up with that one, and just too many white shirts around that ball as Edwards, it looked like, fell on it for a touchdown.
Yeah, it was a track meet trying to get to that ball, and a lot of fast white jerseys on that one, recovering for a touchdown, and that's not the break we needed. After an interception, you kind of want to go down there and at least give your defense a little more time. Milton scoring on special teams. You don't need to give them any additional help as they draw another score in another different way tonight.
So they will look to add the PAT right here. Will Jason Austin, the senior place kicker, and his right foot boots it right through the middle and high, and it is 14-6 Milton on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. 8:18 to play in the first half, but still very much a football game, and the Warriors will get it back on offense. 30 seconds, and then back with more. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM, WLJA.
Not every road is worthy of a postcard, but don't tell that to the new Michelin Cross Climate 2 tires. Where you see 8 hours of road trip torment with stop-and-go traffic, the Michelin Cross Climate 2 with a 60,000-mile warranty sees a sun-filled family safe drive.
The Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire is safer for longer than leading competitors. Discover more at Michelin.com.
Turn to the experts and get a premium tire with premium service. Only at Canton Tire and Wheel in Canton.
Based on resistance to gravel and severe wear testing, compared to Michelin LTX MS, the 70,000-mile warranty only applies to E-metric sizes.
So 14-6 here. The Milton Eagles benefiting off of a bad punt snap by the Cherokee Warriors. It rolls into the end zone, and number 8, Dane Edwards, falls on it for the Eagles, and it's 14-6 Milton on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. Dave Garner back here alongside Will Cooper, Art Mosley. Ronnie Cooper with us as well. Von Brown back with us during the Foundation Financial Halftime Show, which is just 8:18 away. As the kickoff here to the Warriors, and muffed by Adarius Harsaw at the 5-yard line. He picks it back up, but he's in trouble, and he'll go down inside the 10. So a couple of back-to-back special teams gaffes right here in this last 20 seconds or so have cost the Warriors, and now Cherokee working deep out of their own end.
Yeah, this is if you're Cherokee, man, you got to do the simple things right against a team like Milton, and so far Milton's done the simple things right. Hasn't been dominating at all. By any stretch of the imagination, but now with missed snaps and muffs of kicks, it's just you're doing the simple things wrong at this point.
Hey, now's the time for a drive where you kind of let's see some Keith Adams Jr. I think, and at least get out of the shadow of your own end zone.
Yeah, a little steady dose of 3 right here. Maybe you never know. So 8:11 to play in this first half. Cherokee goes back to work. A lot of time on this one. A little bit of nerves, I think, from both sides here. Everyone knows what's on the line here tonight, a region championship. It would be the Warriors' first outright region championship ever. High snap there. They do hand it to Adams, who breaks the tackle near side, but gets up to about the 10. Still a short gain of about a yard or so, and that's about it.
Well, you can tell that Cherokee doesn't feel like they can make any headway up the middle of this defensive line. Everything is off tackle for them so far. And they had some success running towards LT Overton to begin with, but they haven't since then. Having a hard time seeing if Steve Hardison is back out there at his right guard position.
I was going to say, we've got Rice, of course, the center, Chanley and Hardison, the starting guards, and then, of course, flanked by Simmons and Battle, who, as you guys have mentioned, have held their own somewhat here in this first half, but you can feel Milton starting to pick up a little momentum. Here's 2nd down and 9 after a gain of 1 on first down. The defensive line shifts right before pre-snap. A.J. Swan fakes it, pulls it out. He's got Bacher again over the middle. They ran that same play on the last drive that set up the touchdown, and this time they go back across the middle to Bacher, has a big gain, a first down, and that gets them out of the shadow of their own goal line.
Well, you can tell how I don't want to say afraid of, but they respect Keith Adams Jr. so much. Anytime they do that play action, the middle of the field's wide open right on that seam.
So Bacher all the way out to the 29-yard line, and so the Warriors with a fresh set of downs, plenty of clock to work with and 2 timeouts. And this time, that's Adams on the ground trying to get lost behind that offensive line. We'll pick up a couple of hard-earned yards there in the middle against this tough Milton defensive front. Brings up 2nd and 7.
Something to keep your eye on, guys. L.J. McNeil was double covered on that one. Adarius Harshaw one-on-one with Bryce Thornton, but Cam Canian had help from Garrett Smalley coming over with a double coverage on L.J. McNeil, who was listed as the 4th-string wide receiver behind Brady Bosher, Adarius Harshaw, and Adam Fullen.
This time, twins left and right. Hayden Shockley in the slot to the near side. Keith Adams Jr., the lone back. Shotgun snap. Swan looking to load up, firing down the field. He's got a man wide open, makes the grab. 35-30. It's a foot race, and into the end zone, touchdown.
L.J. McNeil.
How about that? L.J. McNeil, the guy who you mentioned, Will, was double-teamed on the play before. That time not double-teamed. Little double move there, and there was all kinds of confusion in the back end of the Milton defense. He was wide open.
Maybe they should keep him double-covered.
Hey, that time they didn't cover him at all.
No, running wide open as if he were, was not a threat.
Yeah.
A little bit of a bobble on that catch, nevertheless. The concentration to pull it in, great pass by Swan.
Cherokee's going for 2 here. I don't blame him.
Maybe a little early.
Are they chasing points too
soon?
No.
No. I think with your long snapping concerns, though, if you haven't figured that out yet.
that might be part of it.
I don't think they're chasing points here. I think they're trying to do,
I stand corrected. That's a good point. I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
I'll give you that one.
You didn't give me you gave me the double coverage and that one. So, hey, as a color, I'm 2-2.
So here we go. Going to fire it inside, in and out of the hands. They ran a little out and then in move there. They were trying to swing that ball back in to Darius Harshaw. It just went a little bit too high, though, up the ladder and knocked away there. So the 2-point play does fall short, but the Warriors back within 2. 14-12 with 6:22 to play here in the first half on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. 30 seconds and then back with more. Stay with us. We got a good one here, folks. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
As an athlete, you put it all on the line each and every day. Training, skill, and dedication. It's with these same characteristics that Pinnacle Orthopedics puts it all on the line for you, ensuring that you continue to play the game you love. With 5 locations and 16 physicians and surgeons, Pinnacle Orthopedics is the team physician for Kennesaw State University, as well as for many other schools and teams. Using only the latest technologies, Pinnacle Orthopedics is dedicated to keeping you at the top of your game.
So the Warriors again with a 68-yard touchdown pass and catch from A.J. Swan to Mr. McNeil. A.J. McNeil, the 6'1", 175-pound senior, and missed a 2-point play, but the Warriors back within 2 at 14-12.
Yeah, that last drive, 4 plays, 92 yards, 2 of 4 on the ground, 4 rushing yards, 2 of 2 through the air for 88 passing yards. Of course, that was a 68-yard touchdown pass. 1 first down, 1:56 time of possession. And just to correct you, that way you don't get corrected later, L.J. McNeil, not A.J.
Or L.J., there we go. Okay, thank you very much. This one into the end zone on the kick there. Warriors boot it through. And no return here at all. You know, we're talking about rushers. We're talking about Keith Adams Jr., leading of 7A, of course, coming into tonight. Just down the road, another Cherokee County rusher leads 6A and Amir Morrison, 1,480 yards, coming in third in the estate. So a lot of eyes on Cherokee County, not only tonight but throughout the season. And what an honor to have 2 of the state's leading rushers here within our border.
That's a great honor. That's something we don't see often, Dave, and hopefully we'll see more and more of that as not only this season goes on, but next couple seasons.
Creekview up 12-0 over Johns Creek in the second quarter.
Grizzlies off to a good start here tonight. Here is Mcdonald on the carry, left side, breaks the tackle, stays on his feet. They had him hemmed in right at the line, and it looks like there's a flag that came flying in as well right at the 25. This may be a hold, and it might negate that run.
It will be, but don't take anything away from McDonald. I mean, he was absolutely stopped in the backfield and just decided not to be. Would have gained 8 yards if not for this hold that'll push him back. It's actually going to be a face mask against Cherokee. Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay, so, well, we thought it was going to be a hold, but they're just going to tack it on, so that play will stand. And it is a great second and third effort.
It is a 5-yard penalty. I learned that this season, actually, is that there is actually still a 5-yard face mask penalty in high school.
Ever the student of football.
I tell you,
I
especially this year.
We've learned a lot this year. We've had some quirky calls at times. But first down and 10, Milton works from their 33, moving left to right here with just under 6 minutes left in the first half and leading by 2. Here's McDonald again on the ground, left side. And wrapped up right at the 36, a gain of about 4 yards. Brings up second down and 6, and the Warriors that time doing a nice job defensively. Upshaw came up there out of his linebacker spot, was one of the first guys there. And we haven't talked a lot about, this Warrior defense. We focused a lot on Milton, but, you look at these guys, Brazen Parker, as we talked about, county best, 112 tackles, 6 for a loss, 2 interceptions as well. This has also been a very opportunistic defense.
Yeah, they've forced 12 turnovers, 8 interceptions. So a good bit of forced fumbles as well, a really hard-hitting defense.
Second down and 6. McDonald alone back, about 3 yards behind Devin Farrell, who stands behind center. They'll hand it to him left side, but not much there. Maybe a yard and a half is it. So a big third down upcoming right here, and a chance for the Warriors to get off the field. Again, Milton has all 3 timeouts. Cherokee with 2, so plenty of time here at 5 minutes and plenty of timeouts to go around.
Thornton checking into the ball game. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, you're good.
But keep your eyes peeled, Cherokee defense for number 7.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's kind of one of those pick your poison, right? You don't have to deal with McDonald. Well, actually, he's going to check out now. McDonald will come back in, so sorry to steal your thunder, Art.
Touche, my friend.
Not so fast.
Warrior defense allowed 216 yards 2 weeks ago in their last game against Alpharetta. As we talk about Davis Harvey, defensive coordinator, let's see what happens right here. Direct snap. Farrell is knocked down behind the line and tripped up.
Bryson Parker.
Parker comes shooting through there on a little run blitz, and Farrell never had a chance as he tried to sprint back to the near side, and that was a quarterback keeper all the way right there, but he never got to the edge.
Knew it as soon as he lined up in that formation. When they split the running back out and have the bunch formation there, they have never done anything but a quarterback draw out of that in the tape that I've seen. Cherokee obviously has the same access to those tapes. Good job by Brayson Parker. Heads-up play, makes his way in, and does a good job with a shoestring tackle, making it 4th and 10.
So Milton punting this football away from the 32. And Brady Bacher stands back at the 30-yard line. I believe that might actually be Lyons who's back there, averaging 10.5 a return. And going to finally look like they were going to, the punter kind of held on to it for just a second. This one takes a big Milton bounce down on the other end, and definitely will flip the field here inside the 15-yard line, and finally down there as Lyons got away from it. And the clock will stop. The Warriors will have 3:30 to work with, 2 timeouts, trailing by 2. 14-12 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard.
Yeah, so if you're Cherokee at this point, you either need 2 two-point conversions to get back what you've lost, or you really want another possession. And I think from here on out, you're looking at a field goal would even things up quite nicely for you. Now, with 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to go, 2 timeouts, you would like to come away with a touchdown. But just something to keep your eye on is that you're going to need to steal an extra possession just because of the miscues that you've had so far.
But I think one of the great things is we could see that Cherokee's offense has outscored Milton's offense.
Yes.
So that's a positive, even if they don't get points out of this drive going into halftime.
Good point.
Yep.
One of those touchdowns coming off a fumbled snap.
So here's 1st down and 10. Twins left and right. One back. Again, that's Adams Jr. They'll give it to him. Into the middle, up to the 20. Good carry there on 1st down. And, that's really the key. I mean, we talk about 3rd down efficiency and being one of the biggest stats in football as far as offensively staying on the field, defensively getting off the field. But really a lot of what you do on 3rd down is predicated by what you do in the early downs. 1st down, you got to get positive yardage. That time the Warriors did that.
It's very in-depth analysis there, Dave.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's the first time you've complimented me all year on anything. I tell you what, man, I'll take it. Here's Adams again. Ducks under one tackler, and he's got the 1st down back to the near side. They just kept it on the ground, and we talked about it earlier, a little steady dose of Keith Adams Jr., and that's exactly what the Milton defense is getting right now.
He's getting a little fired up here right now, finding a little bit of space, and they're not running off tackle anymore. They're making him some holes on the side between the A-gaps here. So good job by Keith Adams finding holes and enough to move those chains for a 1st down.
Warriors punching it out of their own end once again up to their 33. Swan out of the gun, receiver to the near side, trips to the far side, and Swan will take a peek, fire it deep. He's got a man there, makes the grab inside the Milton 40. Darius Harshaw comes down with that one in the middle of a couple of Milton Eagle defenders, including Thornton, and also in the back end there, the safety Garrett Smalley. But another well-placed ball by A.J. Swan, who put that ball right where it had to be.
A.J.'s earning all 3 of his stars tonight, fellas.
And then some. Look, Cherokee's putting the pressure on Milton, something that many teams have not been able to do so far this season, and they're having a little trouble responding to it right now.
And L.T. Overton's been real quiet.
1st down and 10. Here's Adams, right side. He's got a little bit of room in the flat, takes it inside the 30. That'll be good enough for 8 yards on 1st down. And once again, when you're able to stay in front of the chains, it allows you to do so much more. You've got a lot of options, and this Warrior offense has a lot of weapons that they can work with.
Yeah, they do, and Cherokee's proving right now that they're going to utilize all of them. A good run by Keith Adams Jr., and really give this offensive line a lot of credit. I mean, like we mentioned, L.T. Overton's been extremely quiet. Connor Gay's the only one on the defensive line that's had any kind of play.
Adams again, left side, and good one-on-one there, but I'd say Adams won that one as he pushed the linebacker there. Looked like A.J. Crawford back a yard or 2 on contact. And tell you what, there's not a lot of people that are going to win a one-on-one matchup with Keith Adams Jr.
No, they're not. A.J. Crawford, 5'11", 220. Keith Adams, 5'9", 190. But the problem is one of those guys is just a little bit lower to the ground and just a little bit meaner. And it seems like Keith Adams Jr. gets both of those. So enough to move the chains.
Yeah, 1st down there, gain of 3 on 2nd down. So the ball inside the 25 as the Warriors will snap it from the 24-yard line of Milton, working right to left with 1:13 left in the half. They'll keep it on the ground, but nothing doing this time, though. The Eagles stack that one up there in the middle, and that clock will continue to run down to a minute. Now we'll see a timeout. I think the Warriors will burn their 2nd, and they will. We'll keep it right here with 1:05 to play. The Warriors trailing by 2, but on the move, and man, oh man, a lot of drama here right before the half.
Hey,
go ahead, buddy.
They're moving down. They're in field goal position right now. And look, 1:02 left to play. You got 2nd and 10. If we can stay in front of the yard markers here, at minimum, we can look at a field goal opportunity, a chance to go in with a 1-point halftime lead.
Well, the only problem I see with the field goal is you have to snap it.
And you do have to do that.
And the two special team snaps that they've tried so far have been failures. Now, obviously, listen, Cherokee's fielding probably about 90 kids on the sideline. So you would hope that out of those 90 or 80, they could have another person who could try some long snapping capabilities. But, just something to keep your eye on is that for Cherokee, in the back of your mind, that's an added complication to this point.
And we do have confirmation. Patrick O'Shea from the Cherokee Tribune said that Riley Lyons was the one that threw that ball on the Philly special play there back to A.J. Swan. So we'll have to give Riley a touchdown pass here tonight as well. So his fantasy numbers just went up.
Out of control.
It's one of those flex players you like to have.
There you go. So out of the timeout, the Warriors have it 2nd and 10. No gain on that last play. They have it at the Milton 24. A.J. Swan, no one open. He'll tuck it and run it. Makes one guy miss and will lower that shoulder down to the 16. And it'll be just 2 yards shy of a first down, but the clock will roll now inside a minute. The Warriors in hurry-up mode.
Definitely got to cover that ball a little bit better. Very nerve-wracking to watch him run out there, but doing a good job running the football so far, and they're trying to run down as much clock as possible here. Don't want to score with any time left.
He's running like Shady McCoy out there with that ball out
Yeah.
there. So here we go. 3rd down. This is 3rd down. It's 3rd and 2. Shotgun snap. Going to throw it out quickly in the flat end. Complete in and out of the hands of the intended target back over here on the near sideline. They were trying to throw it over here to Hayden Shockley, but he just couldn't quite grab it. So now it is a 4th down. It's an interest with what you guys have been talking about with the long snap kind of deal here, but it does look like they will bring on the field goal kicker and attempt a 33-yard field goal attempt here from the near hash.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a number on the long snapper. Long snapper is one of those positions that you don't care about until you get there, and they're going to sub out the long snapper. It's going to be number
11. A.J. Swan was coming in to take that.
I believe that's number 41 coming in, right?
6. It was 41. I'm sorry.
Number 41, yeah.
And number 61 was there.
Initially. All right, let's get you some numbers here. Number 41 was Jackson Wentz. He's a running back. He's a junior. And number 61 was Ben Rice, the original center. So, obviously Ben Rice have been a center before. You would feel that he could possibly get that out there as he does snap out of the shotgun a lot. But Jackson Wentz was the guy that somebody on the sideline told him to go out there and replace him. Problem with that is that leads to a penalty. So a good timeout there as they will settle for a field goal here and see if they can make it happen.
Yeah, well, field goal gives them a lead right here going to the locker room. You presume, of course, as long as Milton doesn't do something crazy and return the kickoff back or something. We saw that happen here against Cartersville. I mean,
yes.
A lot of drama, of course, in that ball game. But the Warriors are seasoned. They've learned to compete in close games and definitely.
So it will be
battle tested.
Jackson Wentz coming out to be the long snapper here. Yep. So we'll have to see if he's able to get this one away.
Riley Lyons will hold it. It'll be a 33-yard attempt from the near hash for Joel Stahl. Stahl again 3 of 3 on the year. He's been perfect, and he will remain perfect here tonight. So with 27 seconds left here in the first half, the Warriors take the lead, their first lead of the night, 15-14 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. We'll keep it here for you as we get set for the Foundation Financial Halftime Show coming up. Our very own Will Golden Boy Cooper and Vaughn Touchdown Brown will rejoin us as they break down the first half of this ball game and get you caught up with some scores around the area. And, of course, our very own Art Mosley will join us again in the second half as well as the Warriors try to capture their first outright region championship in school history as they've been playing football for the better part of 65 years. Now, they did win a co-championship back in 2002 under Brian Dameron. So they split the championship there. And
guys, creep you up 19-0 over
19-0. There you go.
They have some trouble with the extra point too, huh?
I think there was a safety.
Okay, I'm sorry. I should have known better. I should have known
it's
better.
It's that Creekview defense, man.
I should have known better.
Sorry to steal your thunder there, Dave.
You're good. Good start though for the Grizzlies here tonight. Milton has won the last 7 though in this series, so it's Warriors also trying to break that streak as well. Here's a long kickoff right here, and that will drive the return man. Cam Canyon 2 yards deep in the end zone, and that one will come back out to the 20. So let's see what Milton decides to do if they want to try to be aggressive right here with 27 seconds left. Ben Reeves, as we talked about, the offensive coordinator, exchanging wits tonight with Warrior defensive coordinator Davis Harvey, of course, who has been a longtime coach within the county. He's here at Cherokee, was at Woodstock for a little while, now back at Cherokee. He's done a great job over the years and very familiar with the lay of the land coming in. Devin Farrell See how they decide to be. They'll just keep it on the ground right here. Jordan Mcdonald outside, breaks off a tackle, stays on his feet. Watch out. Still going. Midfield. Breaking tackles one at a time. He broke about 3, 4, or 5 on that play, and somehow or another got all the way down to the Warrior 45. So a gain of about 40 yards there, or about 35, 34 yards is what Ronnie on the spot says, and that's a big run right there. So now with 14 seconds left, you hand that ball off, you think you're going into the locker room, right? It's halftime, but now all of a sudden if you're Milton, you got to think about taking a shot here.
Hey, listen, that last drive by Cherokee, 8 plays, 70 yards, 6 on the ground, 38 yards, 1 of 2 passing for 32 yards, that big one over the middle to Adarius Harshaw, 3 first downs, 3 minutes, 3 seconds time possession for a 33-yard field goal to cap it off there. But, yeah, I think from here with 14 seconds left, what's the harm in trying to get up a little bit? You obviously have 2 first downs. Try something over the middle, see if you can gain 20, 30 yards, get back in field goal range, and take your lead back.
Jordan Mcdonald running like somebody had offered him a couple of ham sandwiches at halftime. I mean, good grief. Just kind of would not be denied, and it was one extra tackle away from really breaking that thing wide open.
That's very similar to how Dave Garner runs to the dinner table.
Yeah.
So, obviously with less speed and less dynamics, but, very
much
similar.
Less agility.
Very similar
sure,
motivation.
Yeah.
Obviously not
or
as
grace or anything.
Yeah, well, he's not as good looking at it doing either.
Well, you've got 2 running backs here, though, that could take it to the house anytime they touch the ball. Man, we just saw it right there. I mean, that's the thing about this game.
And Dave Garner will take it to the house anytime you offer to feed him.
Tell you what.
This
is going to be a long night, man,
Dave.
I'm telling you. So here's first down and 10 for Milton, and this time Devin Farrell is going to fake the run. Then he's going to try to pull up and throw, but he has no one open, so now he's going to run and get what he can. He's finally going to run out of bounds over here on the near side. He changed direction about 2 or 3 times, and that'll run it all the way down to 5 seconds left. So they're either going to have to take a shot here into the end zone or rely on a long leg here of Jason Austin, who is perfect on the year, but his longest is just from 38, but this one's going to be about a 51 or 52-yarder.
Well, he is coming out here on the field, so he'll give it a shot. I guess they said, all right, they heard us on the broadcast, so they lined up in that same formation and then decided that they were going to pass out of that formation.
Well, it could have been a quarterback counter. He kind of cut back, but Cherokee had somebody guarding the back door, and Farrell got what he could.
So a 51-yard field goal attempt to end the half for the senior place kicker, Jason Austin. Out of the hold of Adam Frias, and there was movement. That ball going to be wide to the left, I think.
It was
but
good.
Regardless.
A false start.
It was a false start, but it was a good
start.
kick.
So, that ball did go through there. It looked like it just got over the crossbar.
Left, yeah.
But 5-yard penalty going to back him up. Now, I'm not sure that would have been good from 5 more yards.
No.
So, that penalty may have very well taken them out of his range there.
Yeah, I would say so. Unless they just say, just really give it a good kick.
I don't know how many stars he's got behind his name, but
not many high school kickers.
Not enough.
57 yarders, a little bit too much to ask.
I mean, he's no Steve Zarita or Carson Allen.
They're gonna attempt it again.
Yeah.
Well,
here we go.
Maybe try and kick it real hard this time. I know you tried last time, but real hard.
So this one's going to be a little bit more in the middle of the field, but they are going to line up for what would be a 57-yard field goal attempt. And again, trying to see, the Warriors don't have a timeout left here, and they've kind of confused as to whether or not they were going to put the defense on the field or whether they're going to put the field goal, rush team on the field right here. And so there was a little bit of indecision there.
Well, now there's still a meeting.
They were spotting the ball. They gave them an extra yard here, so it's 50.
Well, hold on. Adarius Harshaw is running out on the field now. Now he's running back off the field.
Well, now, okay, I was going to say that would have put 12 men on the field.
They do have 11.
So here we go, 56 yards. He's got the leg, and it's going to be close, but just short. Wow. I tell you, he didn't miss it by much, but he was short. And that 5-yard penalty, the difference, as the Warriors will take a 1-point lead into the locker room here. They lead at 15-14 at halftime on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. What a first half of high school football. I can't wait to get the guys' take on it. We'll have it for you in 2 minutes as we welcome you inside the Foundation Financial halftime show. 2 minutes and then back with more. You're listening to our live coverage of the Cherokee County Game of the Week. You're listening to North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
At Foundation Financial Insurance and Wealth Management, we believe that your insurance protection and wealth management plan go hand in hand. We start by shopping your insurance with highly rated companies to find you the best combination of price and protection. With that plan in place, we can then work with you to develop a tailored financial plan. Whether you need to save money on insurance or you need a full financial plan, call us at 678-880-9571 or come by 670 East Main Street in Canton for a no-obligation consultation today. Securities and advisory services offered through Packer Land Brokerage Services Incorporated, an unaffiliated entity, member FNIRA and SIPC.
The #1 magazine to read is Enjoy Cherokee. This beautiful full-color seasonal publication keeps you in the know with articles about interesting people, fun events, hot restaurants, and cool ideas. Enjoy Cherokee is for busy people who enjoy a lifestyle magazine worth reading and keeping. You'll find Enjoy Cherokee available at most high-traffic locations and mailed free to homes throughout Cherokee County. Join the thousands who don't miss a single issue. Follow us on Facebook and find issues on enjoycherokee.com. Ask for a free publication and enjoy.
It's football time, and Brian Aaron at Woodstock Outlet has some great news for all the football fans.
Hey, y'all, we are glad to be a sponsor for these games and have a great time. Stay safe out there, and we just really do love being part of our community, and thankful we got the best customers a business could possibly have. And we built a new warehouse. We got it full for the pickup or delivery, so we're ready to go. Y'all come see us, and we sure do appreciate you.
Game on! Football's back, and we're celebrating at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County. Get game-winning offers right now. Drive the best-selling 2020 Nissan Rogue, or check out the redesigned 2020 Sentra. If you try it, you'll buy it. They're that good, fun, and affordable. Catch the savings now before they're gone. Only at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County, across from the Holly Springs Walmart. Online at NissanNorthAtlanta.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.
Welcome back to the Foundation Financial Halftime Show. I am your host, Will Goldenboy Cooper. Diamond Dave Garner has stepped away for his fourth meal of the day, but I have with me Arthur Mosley, the editor-in-chief of the Turd Ferguson Report, tuning in. Art, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Now, I know you're picking on Dave's eating, but we got to mention those are small meals he's eating. So we got to get. I mean, he's going.
They're only about 2,000 calories each. That's a good point. So, the thing about it, for people that aren't familiar, a basic metabolic rate, it's based on your weight and height. And unfortunately for Dave, he's very short, but that weight is what makes up the majority of that. So, he really has to make it up on the back end there. So he's like Keith Adams Jr. Keith Adams Jr. gets stronger as the night goes along. Same thing with Dave, man.
Well, Will, great analysis on Dave's diet and his eating habits. I'm ready to hear your analysis on this first half of this football game, man.
Hey, look, we got some stats for you here. Let's jump into it.
Okay, let's do it.
So, looky here. Coming through, it looks like Cherokee has outgained as a total so far in this one. Cherokee's 35 plays, 262 yards, 17 of 56 on the ground, 13 of 15 through the air. A.J. Swan already has 206 yards. My goodness. 2 penalties for 10 yards, 14 minutes, and 23 seconds time of possession. Milton, 21 plays, 150 yards. Theirs is the majority on the ground. 17 rushes, 127 yards. 2 of 5 passing for only 23 yards. 8 first downs for them as well. 1 penalty for 5 yards. That was on the false start that made the field goal no good. And 9 minutes and 37 seconds time of possession. So I tell you, we have a lot of firsts here. Obviously, Cherokee came out with some issues with the long snapping game. We got to see A.J. Swan catch his first touchdown pass, so congratulations to him. But all over the place, there have just been yards on everywhere.
They have. Cherokee has done a great job of finding open receivers, and generally that's the skinny post with Brady Bacher. Man, he's just done a phenomenal job of getting open, and then him and Harshaw have made some great catches. And then, hey, we have a miscue on defense or special teams, excuse me. Yeah, that puts him behind the 8 ball, but I tell you what, 2 really good running backs going head-to-head. Jordan Mcdonald on the other end is really shown why he's got his bread has been buttered so much. But I tell you what, man, Cherokee holding their own, not just holding their own, Will, but big play after big play like you just mentioned. They're up by a point here.
Yeah, they are. And, as you mentioned, McDonald, 9 carries for 91 yards. Devin Farrell actually has 8 carries, but only 36 yards. So a good job by the Warriors, keeping him subdued at least a little bit. And then on the other side of that coin, Keith Adams Jr. has carried the ball 12 times for 60 yards. He also has a reception for 8 yards as well. But, up and down the line here, I tell you, L.J. McNeil had that big breakaway touchdown. He's got one reception for 68 yards. Hayden Shockley has one for 5 yards. And then Adarius Harshaw, 5 for 62. So he's technically the leading receiver based on receptions. But L.J. McNeil has him on that one reception that was a huge play for them. So, all over the place, doing a good job of spreading the ball around so far. And, besides the miscues by this Cherokee special teams, it's been pretty dominant.
It has been a dominant performance by Cherokee, And, we talk a lot about Harshaw, but I want to tell you, man, Bacher and then, gosh, I'm forgetting his name now, other receiver for Cherokee. And
Hayden Shockley.
Thank you very much. Those guys have over 700 yards receiving combined on the season, so if you just came to this game and said, okay, it's just Harshaw, it's just Adams, and it's just the quarterback we have to stop, then you're missing the rest of the scouting report here. And Coach Shaw and his offensive staff have been doing a great job spreading the ball around and really keeping Milton on their heels on defense.
Well, that's the big thing is that they, as we mentioned before, he ended up catching the touchdown reception by L.J. McNeil. He was double covered. Now, whether that's a miscommunication between the safety and the corner on coverage assignments or whether it was designed that way or whatever have you, but Bryce Thornton has been one-on-one with Adarius Harshaw. For me, I think both those guys have had times where they've won that matchup. I've been really impressed with Adarius. As we mentioned, he's a little bit undersized compared to Bryce Thornton. 5'11", 190 for Bryce, and then 5'10", 155 for Adarius. But listen, he comes in with 658 yards, and there's a reason for that. And then a turnaround, I've been most impressed so far after, the last time that we got to see Cherokee was against Cartersville here.
Right.
So it's been a while since we've got to see the Warriors, and we've heard about the good graces of these guys, and we've heard about, the improvements they've made. We've seen the scores. But A.J. Swan is a completely different quarterback from when we saw him against Cartersville. Cartersville, he came in and was throwing everything a little bit high, was maybe a little amped up, and it looks like today he is the A.J. Swan is advertised, and he has just been lights out with 200 passing yards here in the first half.
Coach Shaw has been really excited about A.J. Swan all season. And like you said, sometimes we'd see him and we're like, maybe it's just he's great in practice. But over the course of the season, as you mentioned, we talked to Coach Shaw a few times, and he said, hey, he's really making some progressions here throughout the course of the season. And like you said, we're seeing it even under duress. Like we've mentioned, he's carrying that ball like a loaf of bread, so there's always room for improvement, Will, but just his poise in the pocket. And then if he can improve on his pocket presence, in my opinion, if he can that internal clock picks up a little bit, and not to speed him up, but just so he's aware of what else is going on around him to avoid some losses, sacks, have you. He's not far off from being mentioned in the category of one of the best quarterbacks in the state, in my opinion, and we're talking about a guy who's got another year of high school football left.
Yeah, that's the thing is that when you look at this, the big change for Cherokee next year is going to be the offensive line, which I'm going to give a shout-out here in just a minute. But looking at their skill positions, A.J. Swan, the junior, Adarius Harshaw, the junior, Hayden Shockley and Brady Botcher are both seniors, Keith Adams Jr., the junior, Zy Johnson, the backup running back, the sophomore, and Adam Fullen, the junior. So a lot of these guys are going to be coming back. But let's give a special shout-out to this Cherokee offensive line who has done absolutely fantastic work.
Absolutely.
One name we haven't mentioned aside from just hyping him up is L.T. Overton, and Cherokee fans are sitting here going, who? Because we haven't mentioned his name, man. I tell you, Derek Battle, right tackle senior, 6'2", 270, and Steve Hardison, the senior, 6 foot, 270 pounds, have handled him nicely. Filling out the rest of that lineup card is Nathan Simmons. He's a 2-star left tackle with offers from us, a few Power 5 programs here and there. And then Ryan Chandley, oddly enough, kind of one of those weird things, he has an offer from Florida.
Right.
Has yet to be assigned any true stars by Rivals or 24/7, so if you Google him, you won't find that. But that first offer from Florida is quite an interesting first offer to get.
That's a big one. We know that Dan Mullen's kind of a weird guy.
That's true.
But we also know that Ryan Chandley is a great offensive lineman. So they're on him first, and kudos to that staff down in Gainesville, Florida, for finding a guy up here in Canton, Georgia. And look, they've been doing the job all night. They've been doing the job all season. And that whole group, the group of 5 offensive linemen you mentioned, great job. And then maybe Chandley, we start talking about him a little bit more, give him a little more credit.
Yeah, and Ben Rice is the one guy we haven't mentioned yet. The junior, 6 foot, 235 pounds. Hopefully he'll be back next year. And Chandley, as we mentioned, is a junior. So both those guys are really good and something to build your future around here at Cherokee. So obviously Coach Shaw is excited about this team now, but for Warrior fans, you always have next year to look forward to as well. And that's not in the sense of, well, there's always next year. That's the sense of, no, we're here this year, but we're really going to be here next year as well.
Yeah, well, I think one thing that COVID has taught us is to not assume that there's always a next year. And so they're going to want to take advantage of every opportunity they have this year, and especially the seniors. The seniors don't have another shot, right, at high school football. This is their last go-around. And how great would it be, as Coach Shaw had mentioned, hey, we can get out of this season with a region title. That's something in a year that's been so crazy. We were able to get through all of our games and win a region title. Would it be a great opportunity for the Warriors?
Yeah, 100%. I think the big thing is you start out with the Corky Kell game here, and that was at a 3:30 game that we covered here on a Wednesday. And to think that we're back on November the 20th, and the fact that we've made it to the season, and the fact Cherokee's carried all these victories in, and the fact that they have a chance to upset Milton here in this one, all of that is just incredible. We're going to take a 2-minute break on the Foundation Financial Halftime Show. When we come back, we're going to give you all the other scores around the area and give you the breakdowns as we move forward. 2 minutes, and we'll be back.
Are you paying too much for your car or home insurance? At Foundation Financial Insurance and Wealth Management, we represent dozens of highly rated insurance companies. We can help you develop the right protection plan for your family and then search to find you the best combination of price and protection. Call us today at 678-880-9571 or come by and see us at 670 East Main Street in Canton for a free, no-obligation quote on your home, auto, business, or life insurance. Securities and advisory services offered through Packer Land Brokerage Services Incorporated, an unaffiliated entity, member FINRA and SIPC.
Not every road is worthy of a postcard, but don't tell that to the new Michelin Cross Climate 2 tires. Where you see 8 hours of road trip torment with stop-and-go traffic, the Michelin Cross Climate 2 with a 60,000-mile warranty sees a sun-filled family safe drive.
The Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire is safer for longer than leading competitors. Discover more at Michelin.com.
Turn to the experts and get a premium tire with premium service. Only at Canton Tire and Wheel in Canton.
Based on resistance to gravel and severe wear testing, compared to Michelin LTX MS, the 70,000-mile warranty only applies to E-metric sizes.
There's been so much talk about distracted driving, you're probably sick of hearing about it. Well, we'd rather you be sick of hearing about it than lose your life doing it. The caring staff with Sosby Funeral Home in Canton reminds you that we all have to go sometime, but don't rush it. Wait your turn and don't drive distracted. Keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and make sure you stay alert and arrive alive. Drive safely and help us protect our teens. They're the only future we've got. Brought to you by Sosby Funeral Home, honoring life from 191 Jarvis Street in Canton.
When you are the official sponsor of the comeback, adding a few feet to a drive matters.
First down.
So does shaving 1/10 of a second off a lap. Top-rated surgery, physical therapy, and motion analysis by the sports medicine team at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta helps young athletes not only prevent injuries, but heal faster and return stronger, ready to win. Our more than 25 orthopedic and sports medicine locations are ready to assist your athlete's comeback. To learn more, visit choa.org/sportsmed.
Welcome back to the Foundation Financial Halftime Show. I'm your host, Will Cooper, joined alongside Arthur Mosley, the chief editor-in-chief of the Turd Ferguson Report. A great publication, guys. If you haven't been over there, it's turdfergusonreport.com.
Yeah, appreciate that plug, Will. Do I get 3 of those? Like the
Well, actually, I haven't even given you guys a shout-out, so that one's free. So here's your first one. It's,
okay.
Make sure you check in the Friday nights at the taverns, football Fridays at the tavern, if you will. Great podcast. You can find that on the Turd Ferguson Report website as well. So it's your one-stop shop for all of your Cherokee County needs. They also do a preview of 8 greats around the state for each week. So if you want to see what's going on around the state, maybe outside of your little bubble here in Cherokee County, check it out. And then, obviously, also they do a top 10 ranking for each classification, which is sure to bring up some controversy after this one.
Will, I am going to have to put you on the payroll for the Turd Ferguson Report, man.
Well, I wish you would. Somebody ought to.
We'll talk to our finance team about that and see what we can get worked out. Will, I think you got some scores for us around the region. I'd be love to get checked in to see what else is going on in Cherokee County.
Well, here's the thing. Etowah is up on Alpharetta 6-0 at the half.
Is that, excuse me, I'm sorry, what did you say?
That's Etowah up 6-0 over Alpharetta at the half.
Okay, I thought there was something wrong with my
no, that's
microphone.
Genuinely correct.
Wow.
Etowah 6,
wow.
Alpharetta nothing.
Wow, way to go, Eagles.
Yeah, no kidding. Creek, you up 19-0 over Johns Creek over there, so good on them. Woodstock up 28-6, is that correct?
28-6 is a score I had.
All right. And then, obviously, outside of our broadcasting area, but just a little bit of a shout-out, Pickens County tied 14-14 with Northwest. And I don't believe Fannin is in action, excuse me. They're up 42-7 over Dade right now.
Yeah, Dade County, located in the far northwest corner of the state of Georgia, and I can't remember if Fannin was home this week or not, but
they're not.
So that's a long road trip, but they offense with them this week.
Apparently they did.
Coach Cheatham not taking any hostages. They've already wrapped up a region title, right?
Yeah.
And first in a long time for the Fannin County Rebels. So good on them, and not letting up this week on poor Dade County.
Yeah, you're right about that. Well, look, let's go over some of the playoff scenarios. We're not here to call any games yet. Obviously, there's a lot of football left to be played, whether you're a Etowah fan, Alpharetta fan, or any fan in between. We got a lot of football to go, but it is worth mentioning where the brackets line up and where things can move from here. So let's take a look at those. So first of all, you're looking over at the 7A classification. Obviously, the matchup here is for the region championship, and the game here, whoever wins this, will play the loser of Mill Creek and Peachtree Ridge. So we're going to get you a score.
Yeah,
on that
right
one.
now, Mill Creek up on Peachtree Ridge will up big. I want to say that score is 19-3 there in the second quarter, approaching halftime there. And Mill Creek, a better resume than Peachtree Ridge, and we kind of were looking at these predictions here and kind of had Mill Creek up on that one.
Yeah, so when you look at the other area, the fourth team in Region 5, which would either be Roswell or Woodstock, unless Alpharetta lost to Etowah. And then Etowah, that loss to Etowah would actually push Woodstock or Roswell. It would push Roswell if they ended up holding on to that third seed. So the third seed will play North Gwinnett. Don't worry, there's no rest for the weary. If you are the last seed in this region, you get to go play Collins Hill.
Yeah, nobody really wants to go play Collins Hill. They've got a great duo at quarterback and wide receiver, and I'm going to forget their names right now because you put me on the spot here. But one of the top defensive backs who also doubles at wide receiver for Collins Hill. That's just a matchup nightmare. I will tell you, Alpharetta did play Collins Hill very tough. Had their backs against the wall all night long and lost 30-22, I believe. So
in overtime, right?
Yeah. I can't confirm that.
Okay.
But we'll go with it.
It sounds good, right?
It sounds good.
Sounds like something that would happen. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I do believe that it was an overtime game over there, and it would be interesting to see them match up once again. Obviously, if you're Alpharetta, you're just trying to beat Etowah. That way you don't have to. You would rather play North Gwinnett than Mill Creek, or at least that's what the seeding tells you. Of course, North Gwinnett's no easy customer either.
Yeah, we do know that they are not an easy customer, but North Gwinnett's had their struggles. I mean, they lost to a 6A team in Lovejoy, and Lovejoy is no joke. But here's the tie-in, or the tie that binds back to here. Lovejoy went out and beat Carver by 1 point in the second or third game of the season. So we kind of scratched our head when they went over to North Gwinnett and kind of really took advantage of North Gwinnett on defense. Here's the problem, and Coach Shaw talked about this on the podcast. He talked about if you don't have a great trigger man, a quarterback in 7A, it really puts you behind the 8 ball. And I think North Gwinnett is struggling a little bit on that quarterback position. So whoever goes over there and has to play them, I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you can disrupt whatever passing attack they're going to throw at you, now they've got a great defense, so you've got to come up with a great offensive game plan. But look, they're going to line the ball up, and Toe's going to meet Leather next Friday, and somebody's going to have a chance to win that ball game.
Right, you are about that. Moving over to 6A, which is our Region 7 matchups. Region 7, the first seed would play the loser of the Pope Sprayberry game, so we'll get you a score update on that one.
Yep, Sprayberry up on Pope will early in that game. I want to say that was 14-7. I'm sorry. Allatoona and Pope are playing tonight. I apologize.
That's my bad. Okay, this is one of the. Okay, I remember now. So whoever, if one of them wins, I believe Sprayberry has the head-to-head.
Yes.
So Sprayberry's up 40-0 over South Cobb right now.
And Allatoona up 10-0 over Pope.
Okay, so Pope would be the fourth seed so far in this one. So that would be either River Ridge or Johns Creek. Obviously, there's a lot to go into that when we went over it in the pregame show, but since we're winding down time here, we'll just leave it at that. Sequoia and Cambridge will be battling for the fourth seed in Region 7. That'll be a matchup against Allatoona, who's up 10-0 over Pope right now. The other side of that is the third team, whether that's Johns Creek or Creekview. Whoever wins the game, which if Creekview holds on, they would not have to do this, but whoever loses that will have to go on the road and play Kell. And then on the other side of that, Creekview, River Ridge, and Johns Creek all have a chance to be the second seed, and they would play, at this point, Sprayberry would be who they would play. Obviously, you'd rather play Pope at this point in the game, but just something to keep an eye on.
Something to keep an eye on. And then I'm going to give you a name here for Kell of running back David Mabinga, sophomore running back, and he really showed out early in last season. Kale's had a little bit of trouble at the quarterback position this season, always generally a powerhouse. We're moving up from 5A to 6A, so now that if you're Creekview, you'd much rather have that game at home, and not that Sprayberry is a pushover, because Coach Favre does a great job over there with the Yellow Jackets. I believe that's who they are.
They are.
Okay, the Yellow. I should know that. They've been in our in this region
for a
while now. But hey, again, you don't have to be the best team. You just have to be the best team that night, right?
That's correct.
And that's when it comes to the playoffs. So.
Well, hey, that's going to do it for us on the Foundation Financial Halftime Show. Both teams are back out and warming up, so we'll warm up with them. 2 minutes, and we'll be back to bring you the second half. Diamond Dave Garner will return us. Arthur Mosley will stick around and help us keep it hammered down here for you. I'll be here as well. 2 minutes, and we're back. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on WLJA.
Are you paying too much for your car or home insurance? At Foundation Financial Insurance and Wealth Management, we represent dozens of highly rated insurance companies. We can help you develop the right protection plan for your family and then search to find you the best combination of price and protection. Call us today at 678-880-9571 or come by and see us at 670 East Main Street in Canton for a free, no obligation quote on your home, auto, business, or life insurance. Securities and advisory services offered through Packer Land Brokerage Services Incorporated, unaffiliated entity, member FINRA and SIPC.
As an athlete, you put it all on the line each and every day. Training, skill, and dedication. It's with these same characteristics that Pinnacle Orthopedics puts it all on the line for you, ensuring that you continue to play the game you love. With 5 locations and 16 physicians and surgeons, Pinnacle Orthopedics is the team physician for Kennesaw State University, as well as for many other schools and teams. Using only the latest technologies, Pinnacle Orthopedics is dedicated to keeping you at the top of your game.
Game on! Football's back, and we're celebrating at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County. Get game-winning offers right now. Drive the best-selling 2020 Nissan Rogue, or check out the redesigned 2020 Sentra. If you try it, you'll buy it. They're that good, fun, and affordable. Catch the savings now before they're gone. Only at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County, across from the Holly Springs Walmart. Online at NissanNorthAtlanta.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.
The #1 magazine to read is Enjoy Cherokee. This beautiful full-color seasonal publication keeps you in the know with articles about interesting people, fun events, hot restaurants, and cool ideas. Enjoy Cherokee is for busy people who enjoy a lifestyle magazine worth reading and keeping. You'll find Enjoy Cherokee available at most high-traffic locations and mailed free to homes throughout Cherokee County. Join the thousands who don't miss a single issue. Follow us on Facebook and find issues on EnjoyCherokee.com. Ask for a free publication and enjoy.
Welcome back to the Cherokee County Game of the Week. I am Will Cooper. We're proud to be bringing you the Cherokee Warriors as they host the Milton Eagles. Our score here is 15-14 in favor of the Warriors after a late field goal in the half brought it back to the Warriors' favor. Bringing us now back into the broadcast. Looks like he got a full of food. He's back and swolled up. It's Dave Garner. Dave, welcome back.
I haven't had a bite to eat hardly all night long. But yeah, for whatever reason.
You could have fooled me.
Everybody wants to say that I'm up here eating. Just so you guys know, all right, they're giving me a hard time.
Well,
every week I'm not ever eating anything until before the game, and I'm eating right across. Eat the same thing you are, right across from you. You out eat me a lot.
Yeah, but oddly enough, one of us looks a little different than the other.
Well, I mean, you're
in shape.
I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it on but I've got a lot more age on you, and just wait, it's coming. I'm just saying.
Now, when you say just wait, is that W-A-I-T or W-E-A-I-G-H-T?
Well, take it for what it's worth. You'll figure it out.
Dave,
One day.
The youth is wasted on the young. That's the problem. Dave, that's the problem.
Exactly. So that's why I'm just like, okay, we'll give it a little bit. Give it a few years. We'll see how it goes. No, but anyway, it's all in good fun. We have a good time here. But yeah, senior night tonight, homecoming here. As well, it's a combo night here at Tommy Baker Field. Of course, the final regular season game. Saving the best for last, the King and Queen announced. Congratulations to Issa Stevenson, who was named the Queen. Aiden was the King, I believe. And so, again, a good night here all the way around, and a good first half for the Cherokee Warriors, who lead at 15-14 over the Milton Eagles. Cherokee won the opening toss. They received the ball, so they will kick off here to start this second half as we welcome you back into our broadcast position. Dave Garner alongside Will Cooper and Art Mosley joining us here as well. Vaughn was MIA. He's got family here tonight, though. We're giving him a pass. He's hanging out here in the stands. A lot of folks of course, associated with Cedarwood Tavern. And here is the low liner kickoff. That one going to go out of bounds, though, so that'll be a penalty. They were trying to kick it into that corner there, but unable to do so. So Milton will bring this ball out, and they'll have pretty good field position to start the second half. But guys, looking back again, Milton struck first, and the Cherokee came back, answered the bell, and it was kind of a back and forth first half.
Well, I think the big thing to remember that Art rightly pointed out towards the end of the first half is that it's, technically it should be 7-15 because Milton's only scored one offensive touchdown. It just happens that a miscue from Cherokee has shot themselves in the foot as we start with another good field position here for Milton. But, with that in mind, man, if they can keep that pace up, then they're looking pretty good.
So Milton will snap it from the 35 after the penalty on the out-of-bounds kickoff. Bunch formation to the far side there. Mcdonald, the lone back, going to swing it out here, and right off the bat, that one, again, going nowhere. They were trying to throw it out on a quick little tunnel screen there, had the blocker set up, but again, Adam Frias just did not have a lot of room to operate. Nice pursuit by that Warrior defense. No gain on first down.
Good job by Chase Goddard to come up and make that tackle there in the open field. 46 tackles, 2 tackles for loss coming into this game.
Goddard also got his hands on that ball. Frias dropped it and fell right on top of it, so a crisis averted for Milton, setting up a 2nd and 10.
Devin Farrell again back to work. They'll bring Brooks Bortle across the formation. That might be a familiar name. A little option play here, Mcdonald, but not a lot of room there at all. Once again, this Warrior defense strings it out, this time to the near sideline, and maybe a yard for Jordan McDonald is all. 3rd down and long upcoming, and how big would this be for the Warriors to come out of the locker room and defensively 3 and out?
Hey, a good open field tackle there by Cody Butler, man. Absolutely squared right up with McDonald there, and he got the brunt of that hit, but he did a good job enough to trip up McDonald and made it a gain of 1.
Jackson Holcomb in there along that defensive line as well, along with Cody Butler. As we talked about the rotation up front here tonight, and the cowbells are out here at Tommy Baker Field as this crowd gets on their feet. Trips to the far side, twins to the near side, empty backfield for Devin Farrell. Looking, no one open. Now I'm going to try to run for it. It's got a little bit of a lane, going to be stood up, though, and dropped at the 40. Well shy of a first down, and Milton will trot on the punt team here, 4th down.
I believe that was Chase Goddard again who came up with the tackle there. So a good open field tackle by him.
Great start for this Warrior defense here. As we talked about out of the locker room, Davis Harvey got his guys fired up, and now the Warriors look to get the ball back. Justin Pierce, the offensive coordinator, has done a nice job this year, dialing up some good play calls for this Cherokee Warrior offense, as we talked about, averaging just shy of 30 points a game. And again, the Milton Eagles looking to punt this ball. The punter standing back at the 25, and Riley Lyons with his heels on his 25.
Jack Nichols set in motion there, the 4-star tight end committed to Notre Dame, and it's a fake.
It is a fake. Going to try to throw a pass right here. They've got a guy open. A flag is down on the near side, though, so let's check the penalty marker. But if it stands, it is a first down all the way down inside the Warrior 20.
It's going to be an ineligible man downfield.
Well, this one may very well be coming back, though, indeed. So a break for the Warriors if that is indeed the penalty. And we'll get the call from the man under the white hat, and it wasn't ineligible downfield. Good call, guys, there. That one coming back. So a little trickeration here, though, from the other 40-yard line, which flipped the field. And, man, how about that?
Hey, I'm 3-3. Call Jack Nickel out there. He's normally not on the punt team. It was a snap up to Frias, who's also the backup quarterback. So, kind of a little bit, as you mentioned, some trickeration. And unfortunately for them, the execution was lacking.
It was lacking, guys. And of note, I believe this is a first 3 and out for Milton of this ball game here. So Cherokee's defense coming out and really getting after the Milton Eagles and save for a ineligible man downfield.
Yeah.
All for naught for Milton, so they're going to have to put it away here.
Well, Bryce Thornton, the end gunner over here on the near side, same formation. Let's see if they actually snap it this time, and they will. A little bit of a rush there, but they get it away. Lions going to tell everyone to get away from it. Short kick takes a nice, big Milton Eagle bounce, and it goes inside the 30 and it'll roll out around the 25 on the other end. But the Warrior defense does go 3 and out, and the offense gets the football back for the first time here in the second half. An offense that ran for 238 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground 2 weeks ago, and their last ball game, a 28-14 win at Alpharetta.
Yeah, I think Cherokee right here, man, if they come out and are able to put up a touchdown here, you kind of feel the complexion of this game move away from Milton, and you feel like Cherokee might have a little bit of the lead here, obviously on the scoreboard, but also in the idea that you can control the game how you like.
Warriors 4-0 at home this year here at Tommy Baker Field, trying to make a perfect 5-0. Again, they will get 10 ball games in. Milton, meanwhile, has only played 8. They'll get 9 in here tonight with 1 game lost, as a lot of teams have lost at least 1 game throughout the year. Cherokee, one of the fortunate few who's played a full 10-game schedule. Here's Keith Adams off the right side. Not much room there at all, and he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Well, Dave, not to correct you too much here tonight, partner, but that's actually Cherokee's 6th home game because the Corky Kell was labeled as a neutral site game, but it was technically here at Tommy Baker Field. So this is the 6th time they've been here at Tommy Baker this season.
So how about that? Here you go. You learn something every day.
Hey. We'll teach you calorie counts next week.
Always back to food on this one. Always back to food on this one.
So here's 2nd down and 10. And this time A.J. Swan gearing up, looking to throw. No one open, under pressure. Now gets rid of it deep down the field. He was looking at Bacher all the way down at the other 40-yard line, near side, but it goes out of bounds. He was kind of running for his life right there, and Bacher broke open momentarily, but just couldn't quite get to that one, so it will be 3rd down.
You don't believe me, do you?
No, I don't.
That's a tough pass on the run for Swan to make. Kind of hit Bacher coming down the sideline here, and just about 1.5 yards wide of an amazing completion here, but nevertheless 3rd and 10 from their own 25.
So you want to apologize now or wait?
No, I don't know. I'm still looking up here. Hold on now. Here's 3rd down and 10. And this time Swan steps up, fires, and again a little bit of contact beyond the 30. Fans wanting a pass interference call there as Bacher again had a little bit of contact there.
Well, Dave
had one over his back, but they didn't call it.
It looked like the defensive back was escorting Bacher down to the ground prior to that pass getting there. Referee missed that one. We'll get get him an appointment to my eye doctor or something to get his eyes checked for next week.
Yeah, that was a bad one. So you ready to apologize now?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
There's too much going on.
Well, maybe you should join the eye doctor class as well. So
they played 6 home games this year against 4 road games.
Correct.
Well, that's weird. That didn't usually happen.
No.
Well,
there we go. 4th down right here. Another low snap, but this time it is handled. And it, well, I tell you what, the long snaps have been an adventure here tonight. But, again, a nice job there by Bacher to get that ball out of there. Line drive punt, kicks it away for an Adam Frias, and that ball goes all the way down to the other end. So that's a nice punt.
47-yard punt there.
So it definitely flips the field, goes inside the 30, and Milton will start this drive from their 28-yard line. So both teams basically 3 and out here to start the second half.
Yeah, kind of an interesting dynamic here. Defense is making some adjustments. For Cherokee, not so much. They've been doing this most of the night. By the way, shout out to Austin Trimble. We haven't called DeBron Gatling's name for most of the night, and that's because Austin Trimble's had him covered up.
He's been on him like white on rice, Will.
There you go.
Right about that.
15-14, Cherokee by a point. 8 minutes left here. There is Mcdonald in the open field. Down the far sideline. One man to beat. 20-10, and he will take it in. So just like that.
Wow.
72 yards on the run by Jordan Mcdonald as he takes it to the house on one play on the far sideline. And you were talking, Will, just a moment ago about changing the complexion of the ball game with one play, and this time it's Milton who does it, and they reclaim the lead here.
Yeah, big run by Mcdonald and relatively untouched. Makes a couple of men miss with a nice kind of shoulder fake there down the sideline. We saw a lot of that last week, Will, Jordan Mcdonald, so this is not surprising. Cherokee had really kind of bottled him up prior to his last run before halftime, and this time he takes it 77 yards to the house, or 72 yards to the house, and Milton right back in front here attempting the point after touchdown.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, McDonald, you know what he's going to do in a game, and it looks like they're going to take a delay of game penalty here. And they went for 2.
They're going to run 2 right here.
I don't think they got it.
Up. Nope, didn't get there. So how about that? They were trying to extend that lead out to make it a 7-point ball game.
Yeah.
But did not get it. So it'll stay a 5-point lead right here for Milton at 20-15 with 7:48 to play in this third quarter. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week.
You're listening to North Georgia's WLJA FM 101.1 and WLJA HD1 LJ, Woodstock, Jasper, Canton, and all of North Georgia.
So Asa Jones back on the controls here tonight, and that last scoring drive for Milton, a quick one.
One play. That was a 72-yard touchdown run. 24 seconds off the clock. So that was like what happened against Woodstock last week. You know, we were, especially at the beginning of that game, Milton was just having their way on the ground. And if you're Cherokee, you can't let that happen to you in this position. Now, listen, you're only down by, after that non-converted 2-point conversion, you're only down by 5. But moving forward, you definitely want to keep things ahead of you. And it would help if the officials called the game.
Correctly.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Yeah.
So here we go. Again, big number 42. That is Christian Colasierto, who handles the kickoff duties for Milton. Puts his foot into it, and Darius Harshaw will take it at the 1-yard line. It's returnable. Comes all the way back across to try to get to the wedge, and he won't get to the 20. Had a long way to go to get back to the wall. It was a nice job by Milton to kick it away from that wedge. And Harshaw to the 16-yard line, but that's all.
Cam Canyon, we called his name. He's a defensive back and a special teams returner as well for Milton, but there to make a stop. And long way for Harshaw to run to pick up a ball he fielded, at the 3-4 yard line and only make it out to the 16.
Yeah, and he ran probably 40 yards to get that 13 yards.
Yeah. So the offense traps back onto the field right here. Again, the last meeting between these two was 2015. Milton won at 28-21. We said they won the last 7, the first meeting all the way back in 1956. Milton leads the series 18-14. Cherokee won 7 straight from 57 to 67 when the times that they played in those 10 years. And here's a quick toss right off the bat, and it's complete and a first down. And I'll tell you what, Brady Bacher has been one guy that's been open a lot here tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the thing is that they're not covering him with a true corner. They're trying to let the linebackers handle the coverage assignment, and the play action is just eating them alive right now, keeping that seam wide open, and they have to drop back in zone. And then it's like the Cherokee Warriors offensive coach has a crystal ball because he knows when they're doing that and runs with Keith Adams.
So Justin Pierce, again, offensive coordinator, exchanging wits with Drew Connell. Defensively for Milton, this one on the ground to Adams. Left side picks up 4 yards, and a good play there on first down for the Warriors to get positive yardage. 5-point lead here, 7 minutes and counting here in this third period. Still plenty of time left in this ball game. In the Warrior offense, we saw them. They were able to sustain a couple of long drives there in that first half, and definitely need one right here to keep pace and maintain with this Milton offense.
And this Cherokee offense has done a good job of answering these kind of calls.
So wide of the near side, one-on-one coverage down here. They've got trips to the boundary. And Swan going to fake the handoff, going to toss a short one in the flat in and out of the hands of Harshaw, who had it, and then it was knocked away at the 41, and it's incomplete. So third down and 6 upcoming for the Warriors right here from their own 39, and a big play upcoming.
Big drop by Harshaw, something we have not seen out of him a lot, and yeah, third and manageable still, but Cherokee's going to have to dial one up, and Keith Adams Jr. checks out of the ball game here.
Adam Fullen checks in for him.
We saw Adam Fullen early in the year with a big touchdown catch early in the season. It's been kind of quiet since, but this is a loaded receiving core.
It is. So. That was a fantastic throw from A.J. on the run, by the way.
Yep.
It still should have been caught, but he was a little bit behind him.
Twins near side. A.J. under pressure, trying to scramble away from it, gets rid of it, throws a pass, and that one is nearly intercepted by Garrett Smalley, the safety, down at the Warrior 40. The intended target was Hayden Shockley, but he was covered nicely, and very fortunate that ball wasn't picked.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Just a little bit of a lollygag throw on the run, back across his body. Just wasn't able to get his full arm into it, and luckily that one fell harmlessly to the turf, but not after. It was only after it bounced out of the Milton defender's hands.
And, hey, guys, that's the first time we've really seen Overton get any kind of pressure as he introduced himself to Swan just as the ball was being released, so no late hit that time. But the ball falls, fortunately for Cherokee, falls harmless to the turf.
LT Overton, as we've talked about, 6'5", 245, the number 1 prospect in the nation for 2023. Here's Frias with the fair catch, and that was an adventure inside the 30, but he makes the grab there at the 28. Off the leg there of Brady Bacher, so Milton back on offense. And a 5-point lead, 20-15, with 6:23 to play here in this third period. 20-15 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. Dave Garner alongside Will Cooper, Art Mosley, Ronnie on the spot, Cooper, Von Brown in the house somewhere. There's been a Jeff Wells sighting as well. There's a couple of different
Jeff Wells
Tavern
and a
Link
Mac
folks.
Wells sighting also.
And a Mac Wells.
Former
That's
Sequoia
right.
great.
That's right. Former Sequoia grad, Berry College. Current defensive lineman, a little nose tackle there. They're going to swing this one out quickly, trying to hit McDonald out of the backfield. There's a flag down here near side. It looked like maybe momentarily, but might have picked it up.
It's either going to be a holding or it's going to be a formation issue, a sideline
warning.
Wow,
There
against
we go.
Cherokee.
Yeah, they dropped that flag right there on the sideline. That's usually something that has to do with that. So they're going to try to back the Warriors up. But that last play was complete to McDonald out of the backfield, but only good for a yard. It's a 2nd and 9 from the 29. The Eagles will work. Twins to the near side. They've got McDonald in the backfield, 2 yards behind Devin Farrell. He'll hand it to him. And McDonald this time hemmed in after about 2 or 3 across the 30 up to the 32. So another 3rd down play right here, and this time the Warriors with the chance to get off the field.
And actually, that time that was number 7, Thornton, subbing in. That was a quick substitution, Dave. I didn't even catch it either. But not a big gain. 3rd and 6 now for Milton Eagles.
Watch the fake handoff to Thornton.
Yeah, Thornton back in there again. Twins near side once again. 3rd down and a long 6 right here for Milton. Play action. Farrell looking to load up. He's going to be hit and dropped. Toby Thompson came shooting through there, and the pressure from the outside as the red shirts caved the pocket. And that'll be a punt situation now for Milton as the Warrior defense gets it done.
Hey, anything you can do, I can do better. You want to introduce me to your guy, let me introduce you to my guy. That's Toby Thompson.
Big sack, but let's give credit for that Cherokee secondary for really great coverage down the field, allowing that front four to finally get home, and a big loss for Milton setting up a 4th and 13, and I don't think we'll see a fake punt here, guys.
Yeah, I would imagine not.
3rd sack of the year for Toby Thompson. He's got 7 tackles for a loss. He's been a big force up front for this Warrior defense all year long, and now Milton will punt it away. Riley Lyons back deep. It's a good punt. It'll drive Lyons back inside his 30-yard line. He bobbles it, and it's going to be picked up by the Eagles, and that's going to be number 22, Cam Kenyon, who will pick this ball up. Now, he tried to advance it. You can't advance a muff punt, but they will have a clean recovery at the Warrior 26, and boy, I tell you what, special teams has been a disaster tonight for Cherokee.
You have to do the simple things right, and if you're if you're a boxer, man, you have to back up and catch that in front of you. He did a good job. He kind of got tripped up going backwards. It's just one of those things where, kind of reminiscent of the New York Mets when that fly ball hit and the outfielder just fell.
Well, it was a driving punt, so a great job by Milton's punter to really put Bacher there on the move, but unfortunately Milton will have the ball in great field position.
Look at this formation.
Wow, so here we go. Little Notre Dame box look right here as they hand it off to Bryce Thornton around the outside, and again a flag in. As Thornton turns the corner, gets inside the Warrior 10, but this one coming back.
Yeah, obvious tackle out there.
Cameron Dye out there with a great takedown, a 2-point takedown. But this is not wrestling. Although wrestling season getting kicked off here shortly, that's going to come back. A 10-yard penalty on Dye, and he just absolutely body slammed
Toby Thompson.
Toby Thompson over there on the left side of that formation.
Well, hey, if he gets after your quarterback, might as well repay the favor and tackle him, I suppose. All's fair in love and war. So, yeah, that formation is I hope they don't bring that out again. That's not really fair. Devin Farrell joined alongside Jordan McDonald and Bryce Thornton. That's it's about 11 stars in one backfield.
Hey, and McDonald just takes the ball 72 yards to the house. Why don't you just give it back to him a few more times here?
Well, I mean, that's what yeah, you don't want to say that out loud too much. But, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, and they may have that thought here as well. After the penalty, though, it's 1st down and 20, so Milton does have a little bit to overcome here. Trips to the near side, a bunch formation, and they'll keep it on the ground. Here's McDonald running to the right, trying to cut it outside. He's got a big running lane. Another flag comes flying in as McDonald's finally shoved out just shy of the 15, and this one might be coming back as well.
That's what Ronnie on the spot says. It signals another hold out there, so I didn't get a chance to see it. Art?
It is a hold.
Yep,
that's a preliminary call. Yep.
So
the Milton sideline, not big fans of that call, but their view is obstructed. We've got a clear view of that hole down here on our side. So much to their chagrin. I know a lot of things go their way over in Alpharetta, but not tonight, baby. Not tonight.
So it's going to be first and 30 or close to it right here.
Maybe the Whitecaps live in Cherokee County somewhere, or maybe somewhere, not in North Fulton County.
Hey, Milton's moving the wrong way, and thanks, Cherokee's not having to do a whole lot here defensively. They're taking advantage of some bonehead plays by that Milton offensive line.
Yeah. Did somebody say 2nd and 74?
We're moving that way very quickly.
Well, they haven't taken a whole lot of shots downfield deep with these receivers, but they may be in a position where they'll have to take a shot at some point here on this drive. 1st and 25, and they'll shift a couple guys left to right in the formation there. They get set now. Twins up top. And this is quarterback draw all the way. Devin Farrell, he's got a little bit of running room, takes it back down to the 30, which is about 4 yards or so shy, 5 yards shy of the original line of scrimmage. So it will be manageable. 2nd down, still long here.
Tyler Goddard down on the play there. They're going to have to call an injury timeout for him. Looks like a lower leg, maybe a hamstring, kind of grabbing the back of his leg. Hope not.
So Milton leads it 20-15 with 3:59 left here in the third quarter. Still plenty of time in a one-score game. 5-point lead on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard, and then is Goddard, who comes off on his own power. That's a good sign.
Maybe just a little cramp there. It's a little late in the season for cramps, but it is a nice cold night, so maybe having a little bit of trouble getting all the oxygen you need. So Dave has that problem a lot walking upstairs.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, Dave. I mean, you are just the Will Cooper whipping boy tonight. Every night. Every Friday night.
Week.
Every Friday night.
All right, here we go. 2nd and 15. Farrell out of the gun again. Receiver to the near side. Twins up top. Now they'll put Thornton in motion. They'll bring him out of the backfield. Going to fire across deep in the middle. Sliding grab is made at the 5-yard line. And that'll be a 1st down. So a 1st and 25. They pick up about 6-8 yards. And then on 2nd down and 15, Devin Farrell throws a dime right in the middle of the field. And a sliding grab made at the 5-yard line to set up 1st and goal.
Way too much time. He had all day to throw.
Way too much time, and there was no safety help in the middle of the field. So Freeze makes a great cut on the inside. A sliding catch. 1st and goal for Milton here. And Thornton in the backfield. Not Mcdonald. Look out.
Well, here we go. They'll bring the tight end across the formation, put him on the other side there. Again, that's Jack Nickel. He goes from right to left. They'll keep it on the ground. Here's Thornton trying to weave his way into the end zone, and he will do so. So from 5 yards out, Bryce Thornton comes in, and he's got his first rushing touchdown of the night. And Milton extends their lead to 26-15, pinning the PAT with 3:03 remaining here in this third quarter.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You're down. You're going to be down by 12, pending the extra point here. And if that's the case, 2 possessions is a big deficit here so far, but still a lot of football left to be played. 3 minutes left to go in the third.
And a lot of football left to be played. You're right, Will, and Cherokee has shown they have a quick strike ability, so not too much to fret about at this point in the ball game.
Jason Austin will look to add the PAT right here to try to make it a 12-point game. And the snap, the hold, out of the hold of Adam Frias, and the point after is good. So 3:03 left, third quarter, 27-15 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. Milton leads Cherokee. We'll take a 30-second timeout and be right back. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM, WLJA.
Welcome to Perk Up. What can I get you?
Can I have a large, skinny, non-fat macchiato with
My 15-year-old has the taste buds of a middle-aged woman. But she's no adult. That's why we took her to Children's for her scoliosis. Their pediatric orthopedic program is nationally ranked. Their specialists understand growing bones and how to treat them. My kid ordering an adult-style coffee? Okay. Going to an adult doctor? Not so much.
Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Orthopedics. Where you take them matters. Learn more at choa.org/ortho.
Back here at Tommy Baker Field in Canton, a beautiful, crisp Georgia night for high school football under the lights. And again, 27-15. Milton just extended their lead on a 5-yard touchdown run by sophomore Bryce Thornton, who also lines up at DB, 5'11", 185-pound, and at running back that time to spell Mr. Jordan Mcdonald for a series or so, but makes good, and now Milton will boot this ball away. He Kickoff there by Colasurdo, who handles the long snap duties. This one returnable straight up the field this time and right up the seam. Takes a big shot to Zadarius Harshaw right at the 20-yard line as he's turned away. And the Warriors will have it 1st and 10, 80 yards away from pay dirt. Need a big play here, guys, as we get towards the end of this third quarter.
Yeah, that last drive for Milton, 3 plays, 25 yards, 2 on the ground, 15 rushing yards from that. 1 of 1 passing, 26 pass yards. That was that big one over the middle to Frias. 2 penalties for negative 15 yards with the holding calls and spotted fouls. 1 minute and 29 seconds time of possession.
So the Warriors break the sideline huddle. Darius Harshaw into the game with 36 receptions for 658 yards and 6 touchdowns. And was involved here early. He's had several grabs, 76 rushing yards as well. Just one of the many big play guys in this offense, and certainly someone they're looking for a big play from here as A.J. Swan goes back to work, swings it out to the man right on cue. That's Harshaw. Quick toss there, tiptoes the near sideline and takes it up close to the 30. And right at the first down marker, and I think they're going to give it to him.
Hey, move those chains, man.
10 yards on the spot, nose of the football, and here we go.
That play didn't look like it was going for 10 yards when they first broke the huddle, but great job by Harshaw to get his nose down and pick up the first down.
Good blocking downfield as well by these receivers, namely Hayden Shockley, who lines up with the slot this time inside Harshaw. And they're going to throw it to Shockley, makes the grab, climbs the ladder and pulls it in, and a short one there, about 5 yards, though, on the quick hitter. 2nd and 5.
I tell you, I know we've mentioned it before, but just looking across this Cherokee offensive line, they're just across the board. They're just bigger than Milton's defensive line. LT Overton's the exception to that rule, but he's not monstrously bigger than the Cherokee offensive line.
Brendan Doyle opposite Overton. Off the edge here near side. This time Adams Jr. trying to find a seam. Slipped down, though, just across the 35. They'll give him 37 or 8. Gain of 2 yards there to bring up a 3rd down at about 3 right here for the Warriors. Inside 2 minutes of this third quarter, and need a first down here to keep this drive going.
Trying to run off of Nathan Simmons there on the left side. And, again, Dave, like you said, lost his foot. And looked like there was a crease there. If he could have hit it, there was maybe that's a 7, 8, 9, 10-yard run. But, nevertheless, 3rd and short here for Cherokee to keep this drive moving.
And the lineup with trips to the far side and receiver back to the near side here, one-on-one. Let's see if they take a shot. Again, Swan under pressure, stays calm, in and out of the hands, though. Harshaw, they had him across the middle, but he just couldn't love it. And now Adams Jr. is laying down on the ground inside the 30, back behind the play here, and it will be 4th down when the smoke clears here. But Harshaw, if he hangs on to that ball, it's a first down. A lot of pressure there. You got to credit Swan. He stayed in there, didn't get happy feet at all. He felt the pressure coming, but stayed calm. Put the ball where it needed to be, but right now, of course, the focus is on Keith Adams Jr., and we just hope he's okay here as they attend to him.
The only thing I can tell you is that he was on the side of LT Overton. So LT has a little bit of a reputation working.
Yeah, I'm not sure there. They got a big matrix board here, obviously, Tommy Bakerfield, but they're not, of course, showing the replay on that one. Now, Adams is up, though, and walking off gingerly on his own power, but he is walking off, and that's a good sign. Not really hobbling a whole lot. Maybe just got his bell rung. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him.
Maybe.
Let's hope that's all that was the case, because the Warriors are going to need him down the stretch here in the second half.
No kidding.
Very tough, though. He's a tough guy, and if he is able to return to the lineup, he definitely will.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it, Dave.
Can't keep him out of there. So 4th down, they're showing punt right here. Probably the smart move. Still plenty of time left in this ball game. You hate for the Warriors to have to give it back to them, though. But on their side of midfield, it's probably the only choice at this point. And now I think a timeout was called. Coach Adam Clack wanted to call a timeout. He came running down the sideline there and got right to the line judge and signaled for a timeout. He saw something he didn't like, and he thought maybe the Warriors were up to something.
Yeah, so the up-back came up and had a little meeting with A.J. Swan, and obviously that's a red flag because you're thinking, is he telling him to snap it to him? Is he having a conversation with how deep? When's the motion going to happen? But I'm pretty sure they just said, hey, man, you doing good? Good. All right, let's do this.
Pat him on the back.
So, hey, man, good to see you. Doing a good job. And that was pretty much it. So it's good, clean punt, good, clean snap.
Yeah. Should be noted that A.J. Swan, again, the quarterback, is handling some of the long snap duties here tonight. And so, they've had some folks out, and so you don't see that a lot.
But, Dave, that's what you call a football player, right?
Yeah.
Coach, where can I help the team? The long snapper is out, and the quarterback steps in, and not ideal for Cherokee and Coach Shaw under
About
any
as far from ideal as you can
Yeah,
get.
yeah. You usually don't have your starting quarterback there. Now, but the good thing is, and you guys alluded to the point, at least you can't touch it. Legally, technically, you can't line up, over the long snapper. So, I mean, you do keep the contact off there, but you just hope he doesn't have to run down and make a tackle or something either, But.
And I've been watching him after he snaps it. He kind of just stands there and tries to work his way back to the sideline.
Safety valve, yeah, there you go.
I'm sure Coach Shaw told him, hey, man, I know no, I don't need to tell you this, but please don't take a hit.
So here we go. Low snap, but a better one, though. It's fieldable here, and Bacher gets it out of there. Here's Frias on the return. Oh, he touched it. It went to the ground, but he fell on it. Well, that was dangerous inside the 25.
I think you got to just let that ball go if you're on the run. I mean, Frias on a dead sprint trying to catch that ball over his shoulder.
Towards the sideline.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Well, Adam Clack in his 4th season at Milton. As we talked about, he was at West Forsyth for 3 seasons, 20-12 there before coming over to Milton and winning a state championship in 2018 as Milton went 13-2 during that run. Meanwhile, Josh Shaw, 9th year here at Cherokee, 2004 co-region champs, as we talked about. 5-0 technically at home this year.
Yeah, and I tell you, Milton does a good job recruiting over in Alabama. Most of the defensive line coming over from there, so got a good program.
So here we go. Here's Bryce Thornton. He starts this drive on offense, and he will fall forward for a yard, but a nice job there by Brazen Park, who had him wrapped up around the ankles. Hit him in the backfield on initial contact. Thornton was able to fall forward for a pickup of 1, 2nd and 9.
I think we've got Jordan McDonald on the Northside Hospital tent on the other side being evaluated, so some developments here. We don't have a affirmation here. We don't want to talk too much about injuries, but we haven't seen him back on the field. He's being evaluated right now. We're not sure where he got tripped up, but big news for the Milton offense.
Big news. But Frias still a good runner.
Looks like Morgan Cox in there defensively for Cherokee. Here's Devin Farrell, throws one up high. That one is caught, and then Gatling breaks a tackle. It looked like the Warriors were just going to knock that ball down, but Gatling got well beyond the marker needed for the first down and then was able to get yards after the catch right there and takes it all the way up to the 44.
Gatling was not matched up with Austin Trimble that time. Trimble had the assignment on Matthew Everett on the other side. We haven't called his name tonight either. But DeBron did a good job, went up there, climbed the ladder, and got it. 6'1", 170-pound freshman.
Just snatched the ball out of the air. Great catch.
So first down and 10, Milton with a fresh set of downs, and they will snap it one more time here before the end of the quarter. Devin Farrell off and running, takes a big shot, throws it deep down the field, and good one-on-one coverage in the back end of that Warrior defense as they were trying to get that ball downfield there to Brooks Bortles. So it will fall incomplete. That'll be the end of the third quarter, and we will step aside and take a 30-second timeout. At the end of 3, it's Milton 27, Cherokee 15 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. 30 seconds, and then back with the fourth and final quarter. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
As an athlete, you put it all on the line each and every day. Training, skill, and dedication. It's with these same characteristics that Pinnacle Orthopedics puts it all on the line for you, ensuring that you continue to play the game you love. With 5 locations and 16 physicians and surgeons, Pinnacle Orthopedics is the team physician for Kennesaw State University, as well as for many other schools and teams. Using only the latest technologies, Pinnacle Orthopedics is dedicated to keeping you at the top of your game.
So start of the fourth quarter, the Cherokee Warriors and the Milton Eagles going at it in the de facto Region 5 7A championship, but Milton holds the advantage here by 12. 27-15 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. Dave Garner back here with you, and we're trying to peek in over there to see what's going on with Jordan McDonald and also Devin Farrell, who took a big shot there at the tail end of that last throw.
Yeah, some third quarter stats here for you. Cherokee up to 302 total yards, Milton 290, Milton 221 on the ground to Cherokee 63, Cherokee 239 passing yards to Milton 69, score of 27-15.
So second down and 10 after an incompletion on that last play. Bryce Thornton into the ball game. Here's Devin Farrell, though. He's going to be taken down right at the line there. No one open downfield. Call that a coverage sack, although Thornton did pick up a yard, so it'll be third down and 9. But, yeah, we haven't seen McDonald much, and Farrell maybe a little ginger after that last throw.
He is definitely laboring. You can tell he's not super thrilled about getting hit. So when he got up, he's really favoring that left side as well.
So 3rd down and 9 right here. Milton has it at their own 45. Working right to left to start this 4th quarter. The Warriors needing a stop and then needing points on the other end to get back in this thing. Here's the shotgun snap. Farrell looking, has time, fires deep across the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended target. Nearly intercepted to the back end there. That was Matthew Everett, who we talked about has been kind of quiet here tonight. And
Austin Treble, just as we mentioned, he's probably one of my favorite defensive players we've gotten to watch this season. I think, when you're a lockdown corner, you get underappreciated because you just don't get called, right? You don't make interceptions, you don't get calls. He does have 2 interceptions on the season, not a big tackler because the ball goes the other side of the field, but does a good job as well. First time they attempted to Everett, and pretty good coverage there. Probably should have been caught anyway, but falls harmlessly to the turf, and Milton's going to have to give it back to Cherokee.
Jason Austin, who, of course, is the place kicker, but also handles the punting duties for Milton. Will punt this football away. Riley Lyons stands at his own 10-yard line. Big rush there by the Warriors. Nearly got to it. Austin had to shorten that stroke up there a little bit. Gets it away, though. Bounces inside the 25 and a roll dead at the 23. You're talking about Trimble, and we know a lot is there's a flag down now.
It's going to be a delay of game. I mean, clock's hit zeros there.
Okay. So
now, Cherokee might be asking, can we just go ahead and decline it?
Well, they may tack on.
Yeah, they're going to decline it here.
Yep.
So, and that's smart. It wasn't a great punt, so you get it back on the 25.
And they will decline indeed. But, you're talking about the back end of this Warrior defense. You talk about Trimble, and we talk about Lyons and all these guys, and we were talking about on the podcast earlier in the week. And, obviously Patrick Dolan, moving on to the college level. But how about Keegan Baker? I mean, he's the guy that's really stepped up as well there in the back end, had the coverage there on that long play there right there at the end of the 3rd quarter. And very impressive job all the way around in this Warrior secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. Riley Lyons, he's huge for a corner, 6'3", 170. I mean, Austin Trimble's more of the prototypical corner, 5'10", 165. And then Chase Goddard, a little undersized for safety, 5'10", 165. But Keegan Baker, 6'1", 190. Really good.
So it looks like Keith Adams Jr. has checked back into the ball game, so he's checked out. And
very good sign.
Doing good.
So here we go. Trips near side. Warriors have worked from their 23. And Swan fakes the handoff on the first play, carrying that ball out from his body. Finally tucks it back in, though, but not a lot of running room there at all. They faked the handoff, and there just wasn't a running lane much, but he was still able to get 2 yards to make it 2nd down and 8 as the clock goes inside 11 minutes here in the ball game. The Warriors need 2 scores.
Yeah, it's it's as good as it is where you can establish the running game. You can't go away from it completely, but it is time to kick it into high gear here. No reason to start wasting all this time.
We talked about Swan threw for 147 yards and a touchdown 2 weeks ago against Alpharetta. Most of the damage by the Warrior offense came on the ground, though. But Swan may have to put this ball in the air. He does so here, and we'll take a quick hitter over to Harshaw near sideline out at the 30. Milton was kind of playing everything underneath there, and it will be 3rd down. 3rd and short, though, manageable here for the Warrior offense, but they definitely need a 1st down right here.
Yeah, they do. Alpharetta losing to Etowah right now, 12-6. That's in the 4th quarter.
Oh, wow. Boy. Got Creekview over Johns Creek, 19-7.
Well, what a way for Etowah to go out, though. Regardless of what happens in that ball game, though, you got to feel pretty good with the season they've had, to be able to put Alpharetta on the ropes like they have.
A little stoppage there. Not sure what it was. Oh, moving it to the near hash. Got it.
So here's 3rd down and 2. Offensive line, as we talked about, Big Rice there in the middle, brings them up. Swan looks over to the sideline, twins to the left and right of the formation with Keith Adams Jr. in the backfield. Milton, 4-2-5 look. Thornton now backs off at the corner spot, and they'll throw it outside, and that's complete and a 1st down out of bounds at the 39 by Brady Bacher. And that was a nice play there. Thornton bailed out at the last second, and then they brought Bacher from the slot, just ran a little out route there, and Swan put it right on him.
Yeah, Milton has a really good secondary, but I tell you, this Cherokee, receiving corps has really, really impressed me tonight.
Maybe one of the most underrated groups. I don't want to say, at least in North Georgia, maybe the state.
Yeah, 100%. No big names aside from Adarius. Nobody that's going to, Power 5 or anything like that, at least this far.
Here's Swan out of the gun. Under pressure this time. Scrambles to his right. Looking downfield. Firing. Has a man there, and it's going to be caught. Had the position. Did Brady Bacher down at the 25. The DB never got his head around. And Swan on the run to his right just chunks it down the field there. Bacher came back to the ball. And that is a Warrior first down and a field flipper down to the other end, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Working against Zaire Horton there, a backup linebacker, safety, listed out there, and Bacher, great position to make that catch.
So now the Warriors in business. Adams Jr. goes from right to left in the formation. They'll give it to him on the ground. Tried to find a little seam there, but boy, that door closed quickly. Maybe a yard, and that's it.
That first time we called Zach Temini his name, but the big defensive tackle was having none of that play on his inside. So be 2nd and 10 for the Warriors. But, hey, they're in plus territory, plenty of time on the clock. We don't want to waste too much here. But get in here for a score right here. Maybe go back to the air to Bacher. I think he's been the guy all night.
Watch the play action here.
4-down territory probably the rest of the way. Swan looking, firing over the middle, and that's complete. That's a touchdown. Adarius Harshaw on the receiving end of a 24-yard touchdown pass and catch. And the Warriors are right back in this ball game with 9.5 to go, and anything's possible.
Hey, bring me my money. Adarius Harshaw making it into the end zone, tying things up a little bit closer now. So a good possession there. Von Brown coming over to have a little conversation with us. Probably getting some eating advice from Dave Garner.
I don't know what he was doing. He was over here, and I wasn't sure what was
I believe
going
he was
on
trying to
there for a
update
second,
us on
but
some scores.
He was confirming the Etowah. I think the Etowah score, making sure we knew that wasn't a typo. So we've got dual confirmation here.
It's true. It's happening.
Darius Harshaw ran a great route, just kind of sold the corner there, but broke back in and just ran a post. He was wide open. I think he got the DB turned around there. Joel Stahl knocks home the PAT. So 9:31 to play here, and the Warriors back within a possession. 27-22 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. We'll step aside for 30 seconds and bring you back to Tommy Baker Field. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
It's football time, and Brian Aaron at Woodstock Outlet has some great news for all the football fans.
Hey, y'all, we are glad to be a sponsor for these games and have a great time. Stay safe out there, and we just really do love being part of our community. And thankful we got the best customers a business could possibly have. And we built a new warehouse. We got it full for the pick up or delivery, so we're ready to go. Y'all come see us, and we sure do appreciate you.
9:31 to play here in the ball game as we welcome you back to Tommy Baker Field here in Canton, Georgia. Dave Garner alongside Will Cooper, Art Mosley, Von Brown with us as well. Ronnie Cooper on the spot here tonight working the numbers. And the rest of our crew, Asa Jones back on master control here tonight. 27-22. Milton leads the Warriors, but Cherokee with a 24-yard touchdown pass and catch from A.J. Swan to Adarius Harshaw. And the PAT makes it a 5-point ball game again at 27-22. And now the Warriors will kick it off left to right. And this one will be returnable from the 7. And a big hit up across the 20-yard line there on the return that looked like Kenyon, who had it for Milton as we check in some numbers here on their last drive.
6 plays, 77 yards, 2 rushes for 3 yards, 4 of 4 through the air, 74 pass yards, 2 first downs, a minute 30. One time of possession. This game, like I mentioned, it feels like two heavyweight fighters, and it feels like we're getting to the 11th and 12th round here, and the guy that's been beat down like you've been watching the movie, right? That 8th, 9th, 10th round, it's been nothing but a bloodfest, and now you're kind of seeing them put out the finesse moves here as they're trying to make everything work.
So Devin Farrell, and that is Mcdonald, who is back in there now, and we weren't sure. We went a couple series without seeing him. Bryce Thornton, of course, was in there, and now Mcdonald back in the lineup looking just as good as ever. He takes one off the left side there, and we'll have he'll have good yardage there on first down, about 7 or 8 yards.
Not sure what was going on in that north side hospital tent. Maybe they're recharging his batteries, but he looks like he's good as new.
So 2nd down and 3, and maybe they sense this ball game is maybe not quite done yet. And here's Mcdonald again, this time right side, tries to find a little bit of room, just puts his shoulder down and buries his way in for a first down up across the 33.
Yeah, this is what he does. I mean, this is the hard part about beating a solid team like Milton. You have to win 3 phases. Cherokee has lost the special teams battle, so you have to make it up somewhere. And that's the thing, is you look at that board and think, man, if that bobbled snap didn't happen, you're looking at 20-22. And instead of them handing the ball off to Mcdonald all the time, they're trying to take a little bit of air and put it back in the ball. But, you have not won the ground game so far, and you have to find a way to at the late stages of this game, and I know they're beat up right now.
There's Devin Farrell once again. Right up the middle this time, big running room, and another quick hitter, 10, 11 yards there on first down for Mr. Mcdonald. Again, Jordan McDonald, as we talked about, 6'1", 210 pounds. He's a load, and he's got some running room here on this series, and Milton's almost punched it out to midfield.
Yeah, he just ran right by blitz on his way to picking up 11, 12, 13 yards on that carry, and just as good as new. They sub him out now. We've got Thornton back in the backfield.
So here we go. They'll hand it to him, right side, and avoids one tackler and takes it right upfield, puts his foot in the turf, and he'll have about 12 yards. Into Warrior territory down to the 43, and now all of a sudden this Warrior defense is on their heels.
Yeah, they're on their heels. Maybe Cherokee might think about spending a timeout. I know we're down here, but the momentum is all in Milton's favor. And Thornton that time picking his way through that defense like a point guard through a zone press here, not having a whole lot of trouble.
McDonald had 169 yards rushing last week and 4 touchdowns on just 10 carries against Woodstock in that 52-21 win last week. And here's Thornton again on the carry. Not much there, though, this time as the Warrior defense tightens up. Still fights forward. Good second effort. Still picks up about 3 yards down to the Warrior 40, second down.
I'll tell you what it's time for, and I know that this is, you don't want to sound too desperate, but it's time for, if you have Keith Adams Jr., it's time for, if you can convince Nathan Simmons, guy's 6'9", 290, just a little bit of weight out there. It's time to bring in the heavy package because they're just running you over right now, and those guys have been out there for a long time.
Steady dose of McDonald and Thornton here for the Eagles.
Now they got both backs in there this time. They'll hand it to McDonald. Tries to hit the corner, but he won't get there. He's stacked up nicely and dives forward. They may give him a yard, maybe 2 to the 38, but it will be third down right here. And, boy, there was a big hole there momentarily, but a nice job by that Warrior defense to stretch it out.
Toby Thompson, the first one there to help cut him down at least a little bit before Cody Butler could get over there and help him, along with, I believe that was Tyler Goddard, who came over and helped bring him down as well.
So here we go. The cowbells are out at Tommy Baker Field. Things are getting loud here. And a big third down and 5 for Milton from the Warrior 38. Cherokee's defense trying to make a stop. This may be 4-down territory even if they do make a stop. Here's Devin Farrell out of the gun. Receivers left and right. Quarterback draw all the way. Trying to turn the corner. He'll have the first down and out of bounds at the Warrior 30-yard line.
Art and I are sitting over here motioning to each other. He's going to run it. He's going to run it.
Hey, we talked about him being slippery. Cherokee's really been able to bottle him up most of the game, but that time he was able to elude the defender, had a chance to make a tackle. Farrell slips out of his grasp, and unfortunately for the Warriors, this drive is extended by the Milton Eagles.
Yeah, I still think if you're Cherokee looking down there, hands on hips, these guys are tired, man. It's, I know you don't want to use those precious timeouts, but at some point you got to give your defense at least a little bit of a break. LT Overton at tight end here.
Just inside 6 minutes here left in this ball game. Milton leads it by 5. Here's Thornton trying to turn the corner on the far side.
And a hold.
And there's a flag that
comes out.
In. Yep. Well, the Warriors nearly came up with a turnover. Milton does fall back on it, but this one's going to come back anyway. It was a gain of 3. But it is a hold on Milton, so that'll push the ball back out. And I was going to say, if you can stop them, and, even if they come away with 3 right here, you're still within a possession, but, you'll take the penalty right here, and you'll push them back a little bit.
Keith Adams Jr. checks in at linebacker here.
So they're listening to you. You're like Ron Jaworski. I broke it down 72 hours of tape, man, and I'm telling you.
I unfortunately have watched a lot of tape on Milton, and there's not a lot of weaknesses out there. So you have to kind of adjust to things on the fly. And, hopefully seeing a few different numbers out there can give you a little bit of a confidence booster. But Toby Thompson on one end and Keith Adams Jr. on the other would be a nice package. But he's going to play straight-up linebacker here, guys.
Jared Stevens checking in at running back for Milton.
So 1st and 21, the ball all the way back out at the 44. And, oh, boy, this play almost blown up. They tried to throw a quick screen pass and broke out of it. Did Frias, who made the grab here on the near side, but that play was almost blown up. He was made contact with. Gatling didn't quite get out there and get his block nailed down, but they were still able to pick up some positive yardage back down to the Warrior 36.
Yeah, did a good job out there. Adam Frias ran right into the back of DeBron Gatling, who was setting up the block, so I believe that was Riley Lyons who forced the play back. but Freeze did a good job making a little bit of a positive gain out of it. 2nd and 15, though, for the Warriors. That's a victory.
Yep, ball at the 36 from the near hash. Again, Milton working right to left across your radio dial, and all white here tonight with a red trim. Meanwhile, the Warriors in the home red with the black hats and pants. 4:54 to play. They move the tight end over. Now they'll bring another guy over. That's Daniel Black, and they'll keep it on the ground this time. Mcdonald trying to break a tackle and drug a guy with him for a minute, but that's about it. Maybe a gain of 2 inside the 35 to the 34. But it will be 3rd down and 13 right here for this Milton offense. And now we've got a stoppage of play here, and I believe McDonald's helmet came off, so he'll have to come off.
Let me tell you how impressed I am with that Cherokee defense with the pre-snap substitutions. Keith Adams Jr. was lined up on the near side of the field. They brought Jack Nickel over to help him block. He switched back out. Toby Thompson runs back to the defensive end. Next thing you know, Jordan McDonald's forced back inside. Hello, Brayson Parker. Brings him down. That was fantastic coaching and a great job by this Cherokee defense.
Clock still moving here as we near the 4-minute mark. Milton 27, Cherokee 22, and a timeout called by the Warrior defense.
Delayed timeout there.
Wanted to see what they had going on right here. The question is, 3rd and 13, we'll keep it here for you. But, if you're Milton in this situation, it's going to depend, obviously, on what you do here on 3rd down. But you got to think if they get, close enough, it may be 4-down territory, since then they could put the game away perhaps. You just never know. We've seen, obviously, that Jason Austin has the leg for 51.
That's what I was going to say, is that force them to do everything right, because that would make it, if you kicked a field goal from here, it'd be 30-22, so an 8-point play, still one possession, but would require the absolute perfect situation to happen.
So. Yeah, it would be. I almost think you got it. If you're Milton, you close this game out here. It's you pick up 7 or 8 yards here. And, hey, look, with the timeout, I believe McDonald can come back into the ball game. That might change the play call here for Coach Clack and the Eagles.
Yeah, maybe you're trying to tell him gain 8 here, and that'll be good enough for you.
And actually, he's not back in the ball game out here, so
interesting. Watch, as we mentioned, watch the quarterback draw here.
Here we go. They'll break the huddle after the timeout. Again, Milton has 2 timeouts. So do the Warriors. They've burned 1 each here in the second half. And here's a big 3rd down and 13. Empty backfield. Trips up top. Twins to the near side. The Warriors will just rush 3. And now Devin Farrell steps up. He's going to try to run for it. Breaks a tackle, and he will have the 1st down. The Warriors had 1-2 opportunities to bring Farrell down shy of the marker, but they just could not secure the tackle, and now Milton will have a fresh set of downs with just a tick inside. 4 minutes left here in this ball game.
Ouch.
Remind me if you heard this before, empty backfield, what do you think Devin Farrell's going to do? And they just breaks contain, and that time that's a killer for the Warriors defense.
Yeah, well, the Warriors dropped 8. They only rushed 3. They dropped 8. Started to get to him there, but everybody went back in coverage, and no one was able to come up and make that tackle. A lot of running room once he got past that initial level.
They play clock winding down very quickly here. Milton, they have to burn a timeout.
They're going to.
Yep, and Coach Adam Clack will burn his second right here with indeed the play clock inside a couple of seconds there. So the clock will stop with 3:29 left here in the ball game. And now if you're the Warriors, you got to think turnover somehow. Somehow you got to stand them up. First guy stand them up. Second guy has to rip that ball out of there somehow.
Yeah. You're still trying to keep them out of the end zone, right? That's the main goal. With 2 timeouts, you're kind of chasing here at this point. But yeah, I mean that's the thing, is that the field goal. Live with the field goal. They've had the ball 6 minutes on this possession so far, so just keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, this drive started. There was almost 10 minutes on the clock or so when this drive started down on the other end. So this has been a long, sustained drive. We've seen that a couple times tonight from Milton. Now, we've seen a couple 3-and-outs as well, but we have seen Milton sustain some long drives, and the Warriors have had a couple opportunities on this drive to get off the field on 3rd and longs, but Milton has been able to convert, and that's been a killer.
No doubt about it.
So after the second timeout, Milton will only have 1 left here with 3.5 to play, but the ball inside the Warrior 20. They're going to spot at the 17. Far hash and a power backfield with McDonald behind everyone. And I got a feeling we're going to see a steady dose here of number 5. He takes it full stride, goes outside, cuts back inside the 10-yard line, and going to be a yard or 2 shy of a 1st down. And Milton flirting with 1st and goal here as we hit 3 minutes.
doesn't look like he has missed a beat, even though he missed those 3 series. And he got that ball. And, again, running with so much purpose there. Nathan Simmons checking in on defensive line. Will, I think, do you have a direct line to Coach Shaw on the sideline?
Well, I would have done that like 5 minutes ago, but yeah.
I think they're listening to you.
I mean, it's just there's a point where when you have athletes, you use them, and I'll wrap this up real quick as they get snapped. But you just have to put size on size, and that's Nathan Simmons, 6'9", 290. He's just the definition of size.
2nd down and 2. The Warriors cheat a couple extra guys into the box, and they will try to slow Mcdonald, but a good second effort right there is going to be right at the marker, and I think he's got just enough for a first down.
Yeah. So now, if you're listening, Coach Shaw, anybody that weighs anything goes out there. I mean, I don't.
So should I go suit up? Is that what you're saying?
No, you do have to have a little bit of athletic ability.
Oh, okay.
Ouch.
In that case, ouch. I'll just stay right here then next to you.
Yeah.
It's getting good up here.
Yeah, well,
So 1st and goal. We're almost at 2 minutes. Warriors will have to think about burning these timeouts here, too, as well. They got to make a stop, though, first. Overton in at tight end. And a quick handoff here. A big running lane around the outside, and McDonald will take it in, and that might do it.
And Overton just put a massive block on, I believe that's Brayson Parker over there. Like that's kind of an unfair matchup there, but running right behind the big sophomore, and McDonald is into the end zone again.
And that is his third rushing touchdown of the night. So once again, Jordan McDonald with 4 rushing touchdowns last week has 3 here tonight as he's followed it up with yet another outstanding performance. And Awesome will look to add the PAT right here. So the Warriors got to score twice in 2 minutes, which is not inconceivable by any means, but they're going to have to come up with some big plays here, to say the least, as Awesome does connect for the PAT. And it's 34-22, a 12-point ball game with 2:02 left, and some folks starting to file out here a little bit early, but sensing that the Warriors will live to play next week regardless right here at Tommy Baker Field, no matter how this final 2:02 plays out.
That is true, but no reason to give up yet. You got 2 minutes and 2 timeouts, and they haven't stopped you on your passing game all night. So you will need an onside kick and some help, but hey,
how about
crazier things have happened?
Hey, how about maybe we can get a special teams return here for starters to get this kicked off here. 2:02, and again, like you said, crazier things have happened.
Well, we saw it earlier in the year right here against Cartersville. Same situation. Warriors go up. They've got the game iced, right? They kick it off, and Cartersville takes the ensuing kickoff back for a touchdown, and then they eventually get the ball back, after a quick 3 and out. And,
So do you squib this, Dave, if you're Milton?
Yes.
You think about squibbing this?
I think you probably do.
Or is there too much arrogance and pride over there on that sideline?
Hopefully not.
I think Colasurdo, I think he's probably going to. We'll see what they do here. Mayveer will squib this one.
Looking deep.
And a little pooch kick. So it will be short, and it'll be taken, and fair caught inside the 30. Again, you can't fair catch the kickoff there. And a nice job there. Did not want to chance the return there. That looked like number 20. He was able to bring that ball there, Adam Fullen.
Hey, that last drive, 13 plays, 78 total yards, 12 on the ground, 83 rushing yards off of that. 1 of 1 passing, 7 pass yards, 16 first downs.
Good.
Holy. 6. Just 6. Never mind. He did write a one.
He kind of run out of yardage there.
Yeah, well, a little bit. Penalty yards of 12, 7 minutes and 29 seconds time of possession.
They're playing on a 160-yard field that time. That's why that drive took so long.
7.5 minutes off the clock.
Yeah,
that's a killer right there. Yeah. So the Warriors got a long way to go here. They'll start this drive at the 29, their own 29. Twins left and right. Swan now rolling right under pressure, just going to fire it deep and flat, get rid of it. Complete. Harshaw up at the 40, and that's beyond the marker there for a first down.
First downs do stop the clock in high school, so. And now they restart it. A little early to restart it there.
Yeah, I was about to say a quick restart. The ball wasn't even set on the ground by the official.
Swan claps his hands. Under pressure this time, looking, firing, throwing deep, one-on-one. He's got Harshaw there, goes up, makes the grab, down at the 25-yard line on the other end, and so there you go. That's the start of maybe something special.
Yeah, Darius right now just dominating the single coverage. Had a little bit of safety help there, but didn't matter. Went up and caught it like just high-pointed the ball.
Great catch and great awareness by Swan to find a Darius running open down the sideline.
So a minute and a half to go here. And the Warriors trying to get a quick score here and over the middle. And inside the 10-yard line down to the 5 goes Bacherer. So, again, a skinny little post. That play's been there all night long. The coverage was there that time, but still a great throw and catch.
Yeah, A.J.'s really come into his own here, and it's perfect timing for him. Even if you don't win this game, getting him right for the playoffs, this is a very good Cherokee team.
So first down and goal for the Warriors. In just 3 plays, they flip the field, and they're flirting with the touchdown here in a minute. And going to look. Throwing, A.J. Swan going to fire in the end zone. He's got a man wide open back of the end zone and a touchdown. So just like that, the Warriors get a quick strike to Hayden Shockley, who has his first touchdown grab here of the night, and that's his 4th touchdown catch of the year. So how about that? Just 1 minute off the clock, and the Warriors are in the end zone. Like you said, Will, they haven't done a whole lot with the Warrior passing game here tonight. At least now they have a chance.
Yeah, they do. And that's the that's looking forward. That's the thing is that it's just one of those things where when you dominate somebody all night long, as a football coach, you want to establish that running game, and you quote unquote need to. But so far in this one, it hasn't worked. The extra point is up, and it's true. So 29-34.
So how about that? We'll keep it right here for you again. 34-29, and so now we will have an onside kick attempt here. And how poetic would this be, though, with the way special teams have treated the Warriors here tonight, if somehow or another they're able to come up with an onside kick right here?
I think it will be poetic justice. You get the onside kick, you've got 2 timeouts, so we're talking about getting the ball at midfield, and you just move the ball, 70-ish yards down the field?
Yeah.
72 yards down the field
yeah.
in a matter of a minute. Without using any timeout. So great clock management by the Warriors and Coach Shaw and his staff.
Yeah. I think I was trying to do some clock management here with 2 timeouts with a minute left. You'd get if they did recover it, you'd get the ball back with 20 seconds.
Assuming you stop
them.
Yeah,
which is a big assumption. Hey, that last drive, 4 plays, 72 yards, all of it on the air, 3 first downs, and did it in exactly 1 minute. Nice job.
There you go.
By everybody. Good job, everybody.
So let's see what the Warriors do here. They'll tee it up see where they tee it up at right here. Joel Stahl, again, the place kicker, will grab the tee, grab the ball, and put it right in the middle of the field. And we'll see what side they attempt to go to here. Obviously, Milton with their hands team on the field here, 5 on the front. 5-10 yards behind them and a deep man just in case back at the 20, but we don't anticipate it'll go that far. So let's see what happens right here. They're going to line it right up in the middle of the field. Got a couple of different guys out there. And the ball, they're lining it up now. You're going to blow the whistle. And here we go. Ball on the ground. And I think they're going to
offsides.
Flag. Yeah, offsides here. And they blew that play dead before the ball actually went out of bounds. I think they are going to give them another opportunity.
It'll just back it up another 5 yards. That is correct.
So that's a
pre-snap penalty.
That's a benefit for Cherokee. Quite frankly.
I'm not sure that one.
They had to re-kick it from the same spot.
Yeah. So here we go. They're going to tee it up from the 35. Back them up 5 yards. They'll get another shot at it, though. And now that Milton has seen it, they kind of cheat a few guys over there. How about Mr. Overton on the hands team out there as well?
Hey, athletes are athletes, man.
So here we go. And see if it takes a big bounce right here. Nope, that one is gloved and fielded cleanly off the turf
Bryce
there
Thornton.
By Bryce Thornton. And so that may very well do it, although Cherokee does have the 2 timeouts. They'll at least make him snap it a couple of times here, and you never know.
Right. Stranger things have happened. Thornton making a great play. The ball, great placement on that onside kick. He just didn't get that high bounce that he needed. And the ball, Thornton's over there fielding it like a sure-handed shortstop. And Milton takes over at the 44-yard line here with, like you said, 1:01 left to play. And Warriors are in desperate need of a turnover, a bobble snap, something.
Yep. Anything can happen. We've seen it happen.
We've seen it happen. And a good response by the Warriors not to lay down on that last drive,
absolutely.
by the way.
Yeah. So very much so. 5-point game right here. Milton leads at 34-29 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. And almost a little mishandle on the play there, but
Oh,
a
my
broken
gosh.
tackle, and Jordan Mcdonald is going to take this one to the house anyway as he stumbles into the end zone, and wow. So, again, just like that, a 44-yard run.
So
we're still in the same scenario,
okay,
right?
so look at this. All right, hold on just a second now. So if you're Cherokee, go do that again, and preferably, like, I don't know, let's do 30 seconds instead of a minute.
I
Cut
mean,
it
is that a
down.
situation where McDonald should just take a knee? He's broken into the
Yes,
outfield,
yes.
and hey, this ball game is over,
Yes,
son. You got
right.
the first down.
Yeah, that's one where you fall.
Yeah. But I think scoring twice with 50 seconds
Yeah.
a little different than trying to score twice with 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a little tougher now, but yeah.
It is. Anything's possible.
But, I mean, 4 rushing touchdowns, though, last week for McDonald.
Yeah.
4 more here tonight. I mean, the damage he's done just in the last 2 weeks. And remember, he came into the game with almost 800 yards, and they've only played 8 games.
Yeah, I think I made an error and said that there was no way that Jordan McDonald was going to score 4 touchdowns this week against the Cherokee defense. And
But Jordan McDonald has 255 yards.
On 19 carries here tonight.
Wow.
Last week he only had 10 carries for 169. So it just goes to
Only.
show you, what he is capable of doing. And it'll be interesting to see, moving forward now, kind of focusing our attention on next week, who all these guys are going to be matched up with and how they'll look, how they'll handle that, and some of our other teams here as well.
It's a 13.4 average per carry there.
Wow.
So that's backbreaking. When every time that you hand the football off, you're getting a first down plus some. There's nothing you can do about that as a coaching staff. I mean, obviously the answer is to stop him on the run.
Well,
but that's easier said than done.
No negative plate yardage plays either for him from scrimmage. So that.
So it looks like Colacerda will boot this one again. Another pooch. And handled again by Folan inside the 25, same spot. No, he's going to. Oh, he didn't.
He never gave a full-fledged fair catch signal. He kind of had T-Rex arms over there with the fair catch signal, and it.
Trying to fake somebody out right there.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, let's see here. They did it a minute while ago. They'll have to do it in 48
I would say half that
seconds
time
here,
would be nice.
but they'd have to do it conceivably, half that time to.
So you have a little
win,
chance, win. Yeah.
2 timeouts, though. Hey,
anything's
possible.
Anything can happen.
Anything's possible.
With popsicle.
What a year, though, it's been, though, for the Cherokee Warriors. As we mentioned, we've seen these guys several times this year. Started the season in the Corky Kell.
Yep.
Here at Tommy Baker Field, a win over Carver. The Warriors with just 1 loss on the year to Roswell a few weeks ago. But other than that, they've been pretty much perfect. Milton, meanwhile, assuming they're able to pull this one out here tonight, will finish the regular season at a perfect 9-0, 5-0 in the region, and they will, of course, be the number 1 seed out of Region 5, 7A. Cherokee, of course, staring at the number 2 seed possibly in a home game here next week. And then, of course, our friends in 6A, with Creekview and River Ridge. River Ridge, of course, playing tomorrow, but Creekview winning tonight. And,
they did win 19-14.
There we go.
So,
Warriors with a 2nd down and 2 right here. 44 seconds left, and Swan stepping up.
He's going to have to get rid of it in a hurry.
Does so under pressure, makes the catch. Wow, across the midfield stripe. Hayden Shockley again at the 42. So A.J. Swan doing a nice job there of extending plays with his legs and finding the open man. These receivers doing a nice job adjusting to the ball here, but the clock winding down out of 30 seconds here, and they got a long way to go. They are at the Milton 41. Swan out of the gun, twins left and right. And movement, and this one going to be blown dead. Slot receiver.
10-second runoff, by the way.
Yep, started to come out of his stance there.
Do you call a timeout here to preserve that 10 seconds?
I don't think they do that in high school.
They don't do that in high school. Come on, man. You should know that.
You're thinking ahead to Saturday.
Hey, Etowah won.
About those
by the way,
and all the
cool.
Sunday. And
I'm sorry.
Etowah won.
I missed that. Can you say that one more time?
Etowah won.
Unbelievable. That was a monkey wrench in the. Actually, it doesn't, does it? Because Etowah.
They do call a timeout. Yeah, it does. So if Roswell wins, then Roswell's the 3rd seed.
Okay. And Roswell was up last time I checked was 35 to
42 to 12 is
okay.
what I saw last. But that's what it shows right now.
So a lot of drama, a lot of excitement playing out around the county tonight. Etowah
Hey, great,
going out a winner.
Great job by Coach Kemper. After all the adversity they faced early in the season with COVID cancellations and kind of quarantines they were going through, starting a new quarterback, they just find a way to get a win against an Alpharetta team who, remember, there was no way that Alpharetta was going to beat Roswell last week, according to Roswell.
Yeah, I heard that a lot.
And Alpharetta goes over there and spanks Roswell. Now, Roswell has their revenge this week on Woodstock, but back to the Etowah Eagles. Great job, and it's always nice to end on that note, especially for those seniors over there at Etowah.
Now, is that why Vaughn took off? He's mad because Alpharetta. He's got some
he does have some Alpharetta
He got that
ties.
news. He took no.
So that's why Art's sticking around is because he's got some Robbie Roper ties.
So after the timeout here, Warriors again, A.J. Swan from midfield he's just going to throw this one away right here. And the clock will stop with 17 seconds left. 41-29, Milton going to get out of here with a win tonight. The Warriors, though, playing down to the final second, trying to maybe put one more on the board here. They scored a minute a while ago, but they still have 46 yards to go right here. And they put 2 more seconds back on the clock, 19 seconds. And as far as where we're at as we get set for the Sosby Funeral Home postgame show, of course, Will and Art will break down this game for you and talk about everything else that's going on there. But it'll be interesting to see where we end up next week. I guess we'll have to get together and
figure that out.
Make that call. So here we go. Warriors 2nd and 15. Keith Adams Jr. out of the backfield makes the grab inside the 14 out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 14 seconds left. And let's see if the Warriors take a shot or two here at the end zone in this final 14 seconds.
Yeah, it's time to give her the old heave-ho here.
Things aren't getting any warmer here, that's for sure, as we hit the 10 o'clock hour. Temperatures are starting to dip down there a little bit, down to 48 now. So, not terribly cold. Not a big breeze or anything. So
no, it's been pretty comfortable here tonight.
3rd down and 6. Swan going to fire a quick pass. He's got Harshaw, steps out of bounds quickly. 1st down. Just 11 seconds left, taking what the defense is giving them right here. And they'd love to at least put one more score on the board, if nothing else, just to make a statement, have a little momentum going into that first-round playoff game next week.
Make everything a little bit even as well.
There you
go. Because it does. There is a possibility that Cherokee could not be the 2nd seed. The score would not do that for you. But just to really, really force it out, an additional touchdown here would be nice.
So trips to the near side, Twins up top, empty backfield for Swan. 11 seconds left here in the ball game. Warriors trailing by 12. They do have the football. Swan will go down back at the 31.
LT Overton finally got him.
Yeah, Overton did get in there, and I think the Warriors will burn a timeout. They'll burn their final timeout here with 5 seconds left. And I'll tell you what, Coach Shaw making a statement right here that, hey, guys, we're not going to go out like that. We're gonna play to the final whistle, and if we've got a timeout, we're going to use it. This ball game obviously out of reach at this point on the scoreboard, but the Warriors, again, want to try to go out with just a little bit of momentum and something positive to happen to kind of fuel the fire for next week, wherever they may be.
Right.
Yeah, just that, but let's just call this a situational point. Forget the score is 41-29. Maybe next week the score is 33-29, and they've got 5 seconds left, and they need to get the ball in the end zone. So always time to improve and work. And like we said, we know they're playing next week. So chance to, like you said, Dave, end on a high note and take that into next week as you host a home playoff game.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That was his, I remember when we did the preseason show, that was his goal at the beginning, was to host a home playoff game at Tommy Baker's. So it sounds like if everything works out, everything will work out. We'll have 3 home playoff games taking place here at Cherokee County, as River Ridge now tonight claimed the region championship. So congratulations to the Knights. You can thank the Grizzlies later.
Send them a box of chocolates or something.
Yeah, Michael Collins, that's right.
Mail that up the road.
Just his 2nd season here. 2nd down and 15, and perhaps the final play of the ball game. Thrown to the end zone, knocked away right at the goal line inside the pylon, and the clock will expire. Good one-on-one coverage down there on the back end of that Milton defense, and that will do it. Final seconds off the clock. The Warrior fans still on their feet, though, with an applause. It's been a great season for Cherokee, and it's not over yet, as round 1 of the playoffs will be next week. But that final score here tonight, Milton a winner 41-29 in a game billed as the de facto Region 5 7A championship. That'll wrap things up here for us in regulation, but stay tuned. The Sosby Funeral Home postgame show is on the other side of a 2-minute break. Our very own Will Cooper, the Golden Boy, and Art Mosley will be with us right here as they break down this one and take a look ahead. 2 minutes and then back with more. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
There's been so much talk about distracted driving, you're probably sick of hearing about it. Well, we'd rather you be sick of hearing about it than lose your life doing it. The caring staff with Sosby Funeral Home in Canton reminds you that we all have to go sometime, but don't rush it. Wait your turn and don't drive distracted. Keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and make sure you stay alert and arrive alive. Drive safely and help us protect our teens. They're the only future we've got. Brought to you by Sosby Funeral Home, honoring life from 191 Jarvis Street in Canton.
It's football time, and Brian Aaron at Woodstock Outlet has some great news for all the football fans.
Hey, y'all, we are glad to be a sponsor for these games and have a great time. Stay safe out there, and we just really do love being part of our community, and thankful we got the best customers a business could possibly have. And we built a new warehouse. We got it full for the pickup or delivery, so we're ready to go. Y'all come see us, and we sure do appreciate you.
I want to make sure that your money outlives you and that you don't outlive your money. Hi, I'm Dave Garner, your local Woodman Life representative. When I'm not broadcasting, I'm doing my best as a poverty prevention specialist to help protect families from financial hardship. Call or visit me online today and see how I can help you and your family stay protected through needs-based life insurance and retirement options. Insurance protection, financial security. That's Woodman Life, standing strong for over 130 years.
Game on! Football's back, and we're celebrating at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County. Get game-winning offers right now. Drive the best-selling 2020 Nissan Rogue, or check out the redesigned 2020 Sentra. If you try it, you'll buy it. They're that good, fun, and affordable. Catch the savings now before they're gone. Only at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County, across from the Holly Springs Walmart. Online at NissanNorthAtlanta.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.
Welcome into the Sosby Funeral Home post-game show. I am your host, Will Cooper, joined alongside Arthur Mosley. So we've been doing some discussing here, and we've come to a realization, if you will, going over the numbers, slaving away. Cherokee will be on the road next week. Unfortunately, due to the fact that Etowah was able to pull out the victory over Alpharetta, that denotes the three-way tie that was to be if Alpharetta, Roswell, and Cherokee all finished 3-2. Unfortunately, it seems that Roswell and Cherokee will both be 3-2, and therefore Roswell has the head-to-head victory. So Cherokee will be on the road, and that matchup would be the
I believe it's North Gwinnett.
it's not. Yes, yep. They'll go on the road to North Gwinnett. So.
Hey, that's a we talked about it before. Okay, so I'm going to go out and say I goofed. I thought this was a no-brainer here, but also thought that Alpharetta was going to take care of business against Etowah.
Yeah.
And but kudos to Etowah.
Yeah.
And as we discussed here before the end of this game, a little disappointing Cherokee with the chance to host to win a region title. Everything they wanted on the line here, and now you've got to go play a beatable North Gwinnett team. Let's not get carried away about just because it's North Gwinnett.
Right, but from through the duration, you're looking at out of region game or road games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the coach who's familiar.
Yes,
with these Cherokee Warriors at some level.
You're right. So that would with the Milton victory, that sets them up against Peachtree Ridge. So Roswell will move to the second seed, and we'll get to host a game at Ray Manus Stadium, and that'll be against Mill Creek. And then to round things out, Alpharetta will have to go on the road to Collins Hill. Will be the end over there. So, hey, let's go over some stats from this game for you here, though. Total yardage, Cherokee 501, Milton 425. For Milton, they had 349 yards on the ground on 39 rushes, only 7 of 12 passing, 76 yards, 5 penalties for 37 yards, 26 minutes and 15 seconds time of possession. A big part of that 7-minute drive that really kind of put the nail in the coffin. Cherokee, 66 plays, 501 yards, 23 rushes for only 62 yards. Couldn't ever get that one going. But the passing yardage, on the other hand, 28 of 37, 439 yards. 4 penalties for 15 yards, 22 minutes and 35 seconds time of possession. Cherokee with 2 turnovers, both of them fumbles. Milton had a turnover with the interception by Riley Lyons out there. So looking down the list up here, Keith Adams Jr. finished with 16 carries on 68 yards. And on the other side of that coin, you have Jordan Mcdonald, who finished with 19 carries on 255 yards for him for the end of the night. So Milton walks off, undefeated season, 9-0, and they will be heavy favorites for a while. Obviously, 7A, as Max Preps pointed out, is the favorite to win, or is the most difficult bracket to win in, with Georgia 6A being 10th in the country. So, looking across the bracket there, things do not get easier for them.
They don't get easier for any team. Region 6 and Region 7, though, not completely impossible for Milton. So I think, we might be looking at at least a quarterfinal run. Now they'll match up with the number 1 seed from Region 3 if they make it to the quarterfinals, assuming those seeds hold,
Right.
which would be a Cobb County team. So you might be talking about North Cobb over there as the number 1 seed. But in terms of our Cherokee County teams, that's going to be a tough road to hoe if you've got to face North Gwinnett, as we talked about, and then you get Region 6 number 1. Not impossible. That's at Forsyth County League, and it probably end up playing Denmark or West Forsyth in that. I can't remember who's got. I think those two teams lock horns tonight, and I don't know if we have a score. So a lot of things have to break right anyway before we get to that point anyway, Will. But, hey, what a great effort by the Cherokee Warriors tonight. They really did leave it all on the field, took a 15-14 lead in the halftime. They could have folded several times in this ball game, and they kept fighting back and fighting back and fighting back. Thought they might have a little bit more wind in their sails when we did see Jordan Mcdonald kind of make his way to the sideline and being evaluated under the tent. But, again, he comes back out after 2 or 3 series and puts his stamp on this game. And we, for as much as we talked about LT Overton, I think there's no doubt that Jordan Mcdonald in my opinion, was the best player on the field tonight.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Devin Farrell was also another good one. Even though he wasn't the backbreaker, you had to respect his ability to run the football. We're going to take a 2-minute break here on the Sosby Funeral Home postgame show. When we come back, we'll wrap up the other area scores and give you the bracket for 6A and finish it up for the night. You're listening to WLJA 101.1 FM.
There's been so much talk about distracted driving, you're probably sick of hearing about it. Well, we'd rather you be sick of hearing about it than lose your life doing it. The caring staff with Sosby Funeral Home in Canton reminds you that we all have to go sometime, but don't rush it. Wait your turn and don't drive distracted. Keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and make sure you stay alert and arrive alive. Drive safely and help us protect our teens. They're the only future we've got. Brought to you by Sosby Funeral Home, honoring life from 191 Jarvis Street in Canton.
It's football time, and Brian Aaron at Woodstock Outlet has some great news for all the football fans.
Hey, y'all, we are glad to be a sponsor for these games, and have a great time. Stay safe out there, and we just really do love being part of our community, and thankful we got the best customers a business could possibly have. And we built a new warehouse. We got it full for the pickup or delivery, so we're ready to go. Y'all come see us, and we sure do appreciate you.
As an athlete, you put it all on the line each and every day. Training, skill, and dedication. It's with these same characteristics that Pinnacle Orthopedics puts it all on the line for you, ensuring that you continue to play the game you love. With 5 locations and 16 physicians and surgeons, Pinnacle Orthopedics is the team physician for Kennesaw State University, as well as for many other schools and teams. Using only the latest technologies, Pinnacle Orthopedics is dedicated to keeping you at the top of your game.
When you read Enjoy Cherokee magazine, you'll find features about interesting people, pleasing places, and exciting events. Find out more about shopping in Canton, dining in Woodstock, living in Holly Springs, exploring in Ball Ground. There's always some new and refreshing ideas between the pages of Enjoy Cherokee. Enjoy Cherokee is available in most high-traffic locations and mailed free to thousands of homes throughout Cherokee County. For your free subscription, check us out on Facebook and find past issues on EnjoyCherokee.com. Enjoy Cherokee, Cherokee County's favorite magazine.
Welcome back into the Sosby Funeral Home post-game show. I'm Will Cooper, joined alongside Arthur Mosley. As we're going to wrap things up here for tonight, let's talk about Region 7-6A and how that will line up. So good news for Creekview River Ridge fans. It happened. River Ridge is the region champs for the first time in their history. They will face Pope after losing to Allatoona. And for Creekview, you get to host a home playoff game, and you will face Sprayberry. So 2 good games on tap for that one. And for us, those will be 2 games that we take a long, hard look at as a possibility for our Cherokee County game of the week next week. And keep in mind, Saturday football on tap. River Ridge and Cambridge, 3:30. Sequoia versus Centennial at 7:30. So if you're in the area looking for some Saturday activities, maybe a little high school football on tap would be nice. Fill out your brackets while you're at it. But whoever wins, let's see. So if Sequoia is able to beat Centennial and Cambridge loses to River Ridge, then they will face Allatoona in the first round. However, if Cambridge is able to pull off the victory against River Ridge or Sequoia loses to Centennial, they will be the playoff team for that Region 7 4th seed. So the one team we didn't mention is Johns Creek. After the loss tonight to Great View, 19-14, they will go on the road and face Kell as they are the 3rd seed. So a few good games in there in the mix.
Very good games in the mix. Should be exciting. And again, as exciting as this game was here, there are 2 games with a lot of playoff implications. You know, River Ridge going for the unblemished season.
Right.
And then, obviously, if that happens, they help, like you mentioned, they help out their neighbors down the street, the Sequoia Chiefs, if they can take care of business against a team that Coach Mike Collins has termed, you know, Coach Collins had told us about Centennial, and we saw them firsthand, 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 and we saw